YouTube, hello. There we go. All right. Good afternoon, folks. Welcome to Smudcast number 310. Why our heroes are different now in regards to God of War, The Last Jedi, and Logan, in case you haven't noticed the screen there. So he will be referencing those aspects of media, those characters. And this is by Wisecrack. If you don't know Wisecrack, well, yeah, the characters.
Well, that was weird.
From the media.
There were no heroes in TLJ.
Well, you could argue the protagonists are technically referenced as
Were there
heroes.
protagonists in TLJ?
Protagonists? I don't know. One of those Greek words. They mean something. I don't know.
No, but they were just porgs. I think that's what we're mistaken.
They were flying corpses.
That's a P word.
That's what they were.
We are just not intellectual enough to understand the sophisticated story that the artiste by the name of Rian Johnson was putting before us.
All right, so to give you some background info on Wisecrack, specifically this video, it was done in June of 2018. It's a while back. It has about almost 900,000 views, and I actually watched all of it. It is 1/3 of it is an advertisement for what they're doing or going to be doing on their channel at the time. So this is going to be a very short video. I honestly did not have anything wrong with what was said. Maybe I wasn't paying attention. Maybe I was playing a video game at the time. I don't remember. It didn't bother me.
Okay.
Are they the same characters? Because they're
No, they're not.
white dudes.
What?
One thing I can say about Wisecrack, they're not going to say stupid shit like Kratos is the same as Logan or Luke Skywalker. That'd be retarded.
Yeah.
Because
but also,
they all
I'm
have
just
children
thinking-
except Luke.
Whenever Smud goes, I watched on this video. It seemed alright. A big, massive red flag just comes right in front of me because I've heard that so many times.
Well,
now,
in some cases,
and every video.
in some
has
cases,
been the worst.
I only watched first few minutes. I thought it's good, and then we watched the video. The first few minutes are fine, and then after that, it just goes straight downhill. Sometimes I watch half the video, and then a second later, the same thing happens. So I watched the whole thing this time. And
sometimes I watch the whole video and I'm actually playing the video game and not paying attention to the video. So hey-ho.
And sorry for being late. That's my fault.
So-
I was
What do you mean,
holding
like-
the others up.
it's not a big deal. Anyway, so the title is Why Our Heroes Are Different Now, and is basically a understanding of why we had heroes back in mythological times when we had to invent myths to teach our children certain things, and why that's all the modern stories are. They're just a recreation of those myths to modernize our ideas, our concepts of science and technology, our realization of the humanities, why we feel the way we do and what we want to do with our lives. It's all basic modern stuff wrapped and packaged in stuff like science fiction and superheroes and whatever. So that's all we're doing. So I don't think most people can screw this up unless they have a political slant they want to inject, which Wisecrack doesn't do, thankfully.
Mm-hmm.
So we should be fine. We should be fine.
Not bad.
Mostly. I thought it was
We should-
I thought it was a political video where I checked out from Wisecrack some years ago.
Some did that.
I
Yes.
don't remember.
But
Somebody wants the political video.
the Jared fellow is actually pretty good. So I like him. And
I swear to God, this Smith goes, he's actually quite good at first words out of this guy's mouth. Anyway, Karl Marx instead, but heroes change, and I'm like, oh my God.
I can confirm. I think he's a chill dude. He doesn't. He's not
I'm
real
sure it'll be fine.
insane.
No,
Then again, I could be wrong.
thing is, we'll go into this. I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt, like I gave Peach Cobbler guy the benefit of the doubt until he came become a raving lunatic who didn't actually know what he was on about.
I mean, you did like the guy at first.
Well, if you just say I don't like anime, you're already in my good books. But once you go the other way he went, it's like, wow, you've gone straight. You were in and out
you see,
so fast.
that character we watched, what was it, DJ Cobbler or whatever, Peach Cobbler, he comes across as very down to earth and sort of straightforward. He doesn't waste time, and then he just lost it. He just went off into weird, generic. Every character's the same. They all have a heart of gold. They're all a bunch of males with hair, and it's like, what? Weird.
Yeah.
And then, but like I said in the last video, his argument literally boiled down to white man bad, but everything else with like women is good. I'm like, well done, mate. You spent half your video talking about nothing, and then the rest of it talking about rubbish.
The thing yesterday that I missed. I think I saw that on Sloppy Seconds before. And is that the one where it shows an assortment of characters in the upper right corner, and 3 of them are the same guy from the same game.
No. That was a different one. One. But we have actually seen that video on Smudcast as well.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Where 3 of those characters were Starkiller.
Starkiller, right? Yeah.
All these characters are the same. Yeah, because they're the same guy.
I only know like 12 video games, guys.
He only has 2 games. Why is he there 3 times?
There's only 12 video games that are AAA. That's all I could think of.
I had like 4 hours before I had to upload this video. I ran out of time to find AAA games.
There's like literally thousands of games.
There's so few of them. There's so few AAA games. It's literally impossible to find characters.
There's like 4.5 AAA games. There's nothing else to choose from. I've got, what was it, like last video? We had Red Dead and Red Dead Redemption 2. I'm like, wow, you really are struggling here, aren't you? You picked one game and its sequel. Anyway, onto this video. I'm sure we'll be all right with this one. I'm sure this will be good. I'm sure I won't get angry and insult people.
All right, good stuff. Here's Mike Test to start off. Hey, Mike, how you doing? E3 has been nothing but narcissism. I didn't even know we had one, but okay. and lecturing so far.
Wait, what's that?
We had an E3 this year, apparently.
I was watching the Young Year stream together with Johan and White, and it was just what was it? Was it the Sony stream? I think it was the Xbox stream. Stream.
God,
right. That was pathetic. That was so pathetic.
The only thing that someone sent me was Xbox is making a fridge. That's it.
Is that a joke on how bad the cooling is for that console?
No, it's literal. They said they are. Oh, sorry, no. The Outer Worlds 2. They made a really good trailer. I never played the first game, but they made a really good trailer for the sequel.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yeah.
Trailer was good. Oh. The only exclusive. I think they have 2 exclusives. One is a racing game, completely normal racing game that just looks okay. It looks okay. And they completely overinflated the advertisement for it to the point where it just annoys you, especially if you're not into racing games. And the other one is Slime Rancher 2.
All right. Sorry, I had to listen there again. You said racing game. I hear an R word and I automatically think of something else.
Okay.
It was a racist game. I thought, wow, Xbox based. Okay, I'm gonna get that one.
Well, remember that
you see the Xbox fridge?
Yeah, for
the racing game, they even had the diverse assortment of developers from the company.
Well,
non-lines.
I don't know if you guys remember the December announcement of KFC making the KFC console, which
I remember that.
I still think is a joke.
The jokes write themselves. It was so funny.
I think it's a joke. They're serious about it apparently, but the Xbox thing is also serious. So it's like when you think about it, you're going to have an appliance that will do your dishes, clean your sheets, dry your dishes, whatever. I don't know, and play your video. Like it's just going to be this
and play Skyrim.
Maybe because I was playing the Switch. I don't know if you guys have played the Switch before. The Switch is awesome because it's so small, it's so sleek.
Oh yeah.
And you could bring it over to your friend's place and you just pull it out and everyone has a controller at the size of a mouse and it's fun. It's simple, easy, fun.
I always forget it has the function that I can take it out of the dock because I never do that. But I play games that look good on the small screen. Makes no sense.
I'm just saying that
for gaming on the go,
Nintendo's going to keep innovating. So I don't know what's next.
Yeah.
And if that's the idea, Xbox and PlayStation are going bigger. And I think Nintendo's just going to make their own phones. They're just going to like.
Nintendo just always aims at. That's the thing that they always aim for innovation.
Yeah,
and the super. It's wrong to say that Nintendo was always going for other aspects than perfect performance. The Super Nintendo was a powerhouse at the time. That was the big powerhouse console. They just experimented afterwards because the whole hardware race is not everything, simply. Nintendo realized that we are making video games, it's about gameplay, so we need to figure out new ways to make the gameplay interesting. Sometimes these experiments fail, but they are the one company that still... Nintendo is the one company that still does that and tries that. The other companies are just doing new console with more hardware. And with Microsoft, I never understood why they wanted to join the console wars in the first place, because they have a PC portfolio. Why do you make console exclusives when you are already making PC games?
Well, it's funny because they wanted to, in 2013, they wanted to make their Xbox One into a PC, basically.
Yeah, it's completely retarded. They took Halo away from us back then, shortly before its release. Halo was about to be released on PC in, I don't know, 99, 2000, 2001, somewhere along that. And then Microsoft with we have our console here, our shitty console that we put together that we can't even get the cooling right. Let's which was the Xbox was just a crappy PC, really. For consoles, you usually need to really balance the hardware, all the components to each other. And Microsoft didn't do that; it just slammed random hardware in there. And that's why you got these helicopter ventilators in there that just went whee all the time, so you couldn't even hear the fucking game. And they didn't have a console exclusive starter to even make you interested in the game. So they bought up Bungie because there was some hype about Halo. When it was had it come out at the time, it was ready for the PC. The game would have been revolutionary. However, because it did so many things like the dirt from the tires of the buggy, the way the vehicles moved and everything. Wonderful detail. Hadn't been done before on that level on shooters or video games, but in general. Then Microsoft buys Bungie. Bungie has to rewrite the whole game from scratch, from zero, for the console. And that took years. That stretched out the release of the first Halo game so long that when the first Halo game released, there were still fanboys going for the Xbox, okay. But essentially, there had been first-person shooters coming out left and right within those years that did all the things that Halo had promised, and better. When Halo came out, it was old. And and many people on the PC never bothered with the Xbox with Halo because why?
All right.
Why go to that length? Sorry for the excursion.
Here's the rest of Mike
You
Tester.
excited for the new?
The what? Sorry.
No. Sorry. No, I'm getting off topic. Sorry.
All right. Can't wait for Nintendo to hopefully put a stop to this awful E3. Guys, no one cares about E3 last year. No one cares about this year. We want our freaking lives back.
I completely forgot there was an E3.
E3 was interesting in the 90s when you get when it was an actually interesting company showcase, and you got your video game news from magazines printed out that you bought in a kiosk.
Yeah.
Well, if
Those were
where
the
you
days.
had actual game journalism, where the journalists were actual gamers and try to give ratings, and you had your specialists for the sports games, the specialist for the ego shooters, the specialist for the strategy games.
If they don't give me,
they knew what they were talking about.
If they don't give me booth babes and drink tickets for whatever, I don't care. I'm not going. It's just a bunch of screens and
You actually You actually went to those types of things?
Oh, well, we have convention centers in downtown Toronto for all kinds of conventions, and there's this great whiskey and liqueur conference, and it's
Man of culture, I see.
it's beautiful, and the women serve you, and it's like
Smud's like me. Smud's like me. I only
think-
go
and I
somewhere
think
if there's beer and women, and it's like otherwise I'm
The whole booth bake thing, I think that was a much more honorable thing to do, much more honorable job than what is now done on Twitch and is sold to us as empowering, while the whole booth babes and at conventions and racing were told to us that that is objectifying women, but Twitch is empowering.
Oh,
You know
yeah.
what? Give these women a job.
They said it was like
If they
sexist.
want to stand around talking about video games with me, I don't care. Go right ahead, ladies. You don't know a damn thing what you're talking about. That's fine. Lie to me. It's good enough. I'm gonna keep walking.
Lie to me. That's it. Lie to me. Lie to me.
Those
Sip
girls
some
at
more
least.
whiskey. Lie to me.
Yeah, I'm tired of
The booth babes, you
Todd
at
Howard lying
least
to me.
knew that they weren't there for the games.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you could find a girl who likes video games and baking and cooking and reading, I mean, just after 5 minutes, just tell her you're going to marry her in a certain amount of time because you're wasting your life. Once you found this ideal woman, what do you want?
How dare you?
What do you need? What are you waiting for? Anyway, where was
What are you
I?
waiting for? Just get that dark gun, and she's all yours, guys.
What?
What?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Anyway.
I don't know what you're on about.
Emergence. The Wisecrack dude now is coming out like I'm totally not woke now that he sold the IP and moved out of the country. Screw him. Really? He sold this? Wow. He started it and sold it. That's great. I love it.
Who, Jared?
I guess so. I don't know.
Hey, good for him.
That's
I mean,
funny.
It was
Listen,
going
at the end of the
downhill, I
day,
think.
if you make something and then a big company after like 5 or 6 years offers you a lot of money, fucking take it, because after 7 years you're probably never gonna get that amount of money ever again.
This is the philosophy of building up an e-com business to, like, I don't know, lenses of cameras, or I don't know, whatever. You're like, yeah, I don't want to do this anymore. Some guy wants to buy it for like $800,000. You're like, okay, sure, take it. I don't care.
Yeah, that's also
What
the whole
was
deal
it?
with the guy who made Discord. He makes a software thing every 5 years. He sells it to whoever pays the highest. Usually that was the Chinese, and that's going to happen now too. And then all your precious user data.
Well, what's the
Yay.
guy?
All your
What's the
precious
guy who
user
made?
data is gonna go to the highest bidder.
What about? It's like the guy
Can't
who
wait.
made MySpace, isn't it? What's his name?
Tom?
Yeah.
Ow.
Someone had a go at him, going, "Lol, no one uses your like social media site anymore." And his response was, "I can't hear you from my house on my Caribbean island."
Also, that's not entirely
I'm
true.
like- I'm like, well, you know, flaunt it if you've got it.
MySpace has become the niche for teens who don't want their family to know what they're doing on social media.
Because
Oh,
it's
Because
MySpace.
everybody's on Facebook.
Because it's MySpace, exactly.
Yes,
Oh my god! Wow,
yes.
that's crazy.
That's some social dynamics here going.
It's like a circle. It all
Yeah,
comes
Teen
back
Rebellion.
to MySpace.
Yeah, Team Rebellion is like a cycle. You'll find that what you thought was really cool, like your parents did when they were teenagers, and you're like, okay.
I think, yeah, but I think this is simpler than that, because why, as a teenager, why would I want to be on the social media platform where my parents can see everything I'm doing? I don't want to live in a panopticon.
I'm just thinking of some like teenage girl going, "Oh, I'm gonna be so embarrassed. My parents saw me stripping on Facebook, so I'll just strip on TikTok and Instagram instead." I'm like, your priorities are wrong here, darling. So,
Okay.
oh,
Anyway, enough escapades into
I don't
social
know, just
media.
have way too many options.
For spending money, yeah, that's true.
this is true.
Okay. Tyler Preston. Jim Sterling has been getting more and more retarded these days. Is that possible?
Yes.
From screeching that the creator of
How?
Five Nights at Freddy's thinks differently from him. What? and that a female character in a fighting game was getting beat up in said fighting game? What? Are you serious?
What?
Yeah, probably.
Do we have to watch that video? That sounds ridiculous.
Yeah, to be honest with you, Jim Sterling has always been a fucking idiot. It's just the fact he went, "Oh, I don't like loot boxes," and all the normie gamers went, "Yeah, he's on our side." In reality, it's a bit like he just didn't like spending money.
We always
he was still a nut job and an idiot.
We always laugh at Movie Bob for being this bulbous mass of crazy. Jim Sterling is bigger than Movie Bob, and more outspoken in times, and I'm like, this is on not the same level of crazy, but he's still pretty. He's getting there.
Just
no, not he, she.
Oh, shut up!
He's
Jim Sterling is a fucking attention whore with a fetish.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Are you trying to tell me he's part of
anything?
Is he part of the trans community?
Especially when he's nuts.
No.
Yeah.
No.
He just went at it with a weed whacker. That's
they say that, but that's not true, is it now?
Yeah, well, I know he is. I literally just said it just to get
It's an attentional with a cross-dressing fetish.
Well, it's always your fault, Hawk.
Yeah, I know.
That's why Jim
my fault,
Sterling is now like Jamina or something.
Yeah.
Just because you're overweight and your cholesterol is messing with your endocrine system doesn't mean you're trans.
Just because you're overweight and have boobs naturally now doesn't mean you're trans.
Oh dear. Okay, let's keep going.
God, Jim Sterling is just a fat bastard.
But I thought boobs were evil though.
Yeah, whatever. I don't care.
Well, I actually do care about boobs. I don't know about you, Hawk, but
well, I do care about boobs, but I don't care about Jim Sterling's boobs. They're off the table.
Boobs bad.
That's a very good point.
Boobs good, moves
very good distinction, Hawk. I applaud your clarification. Okay.
Yes.
One more. Mike Testa. Sad fact: E3 is run by people who don't play games. I don't know. Maybe I have no idea.
Yeah.
Couldn't tell you.
But they do eat Doritos and drink Mountain Dew.
Oh, that's not E3. Those are the Game Awards.
No. But it's still the same people.
The same people. Oh, God, no.
Pretty much.
Oh, was his name Jeff Lightly or Knightley or whatever? I don't know.
Yeah, Jeff. Yeah, Knightley. Yeah.
Anyway.
What a guy.
What a great fan of Hideo Kojima. What a guy. He's great. Okay. Let's do the video. Let's get going.
Yes, let's go.
Kojima!
Hey guys, stick around to the end of the video for a behind-the-scenes look of what we got cooking up for the future of Wisecrack. Enjoy the show.
The past future.
Hey Wisecrack, Jared here. So, just like everyone else with a PS4, I've been grinding my thumbs to nubs playing God of War. And if you haven't had the pleasure to play it yet, things are pretty different this time around.
Did something change? The forest feels different now.
Everything is different, boy. Try not to dwell on it.
Instead of a roid-raging Greek god of destruction who f***s for experience points, Kratos is now a melancholy dream daddy, complete with a child and a dead wife. This stark change in Kratos got me thinking, is this part of a much larger zeitgeist? See, something is happening to our heroes, and if you don't believe me, look no further than Wolverine and Luke Skywalker.
It's just a continuation of a story.
Go from this colorful murder machine to this angsty old man.
Because
and how did Luke go from this starry-eyed wunderkind to this disenchanted recluse?
Because
and
bad writing.
Bad writing.
This blade-swinging harbinger of death to this bummed-out widower. Well,
because he's old and he got rid of his curse for the most part.
The era defined by the king of swagger, the Duke. Welcome to this Wisecrack edition on the age of the post-hero. And stay frosty, guys.
There were no heroes in TLJ. I stand by that point. I'm not even sure there were protagonists in TLJ.
There weren't characters in TLJ, don't worry. But, yeah, why did Luke turn into that? Bad writing. So, okay.
Only bad writing. Bad writing that was supposed to kill the character. Deliberately.
Yeah, deliberately kill the character, yeah. Why is Kratos like that? Because he's got all the like we said. He settled down.
His struggle was over. He destroyed the entire Olympian pantheon. including the Titans.
And like with Wolverine, when did they go from a 2D cartoon to Hugh Jackman? Well, never, because they're two different continuities anyway.
That as well, old. It's just age. You get slower. You settle down. You reminisce on the pain of your life.
This
and
is
at
one
some
thing I
point,
have to keep
you're
to
just
all these...
sick of it all.
Yeah, but this is what I have to keep explaining to all these woke little university students. You know, you're not in your 20s forever.
Yeah.
You do get older, so yeah.
Yeah, you don't stay the exact person you are right now. This energetic, bouncy ball, sex-crazed idiot. You don't stay there for the next 80 years.
Yeah, guys, you're going to be thrown in a box or burnt to crisp, and that'll be that. So invest in the stock market early.
What?
I've already been told. Yeah, I've already been told that I'm just getting thrown in a ditch next to a motorway somewhere. That's what I've got to look forward to. So.
You got a ditch.
Wow.
I'm going in a trash can.
Yeah,
that's pretty special.
Let the wolves deal with me. That's what my family say.
Here's Tyler Preston for the donation. Thank you.
Well-fed wolves, right?
Here's to save you the headache and brain cells. Here's a short summary. Scott Cawthorn is a conservative who donated to right-wing organizations. Whoa! Blow the town bell. That's impossible. Poison Ivy is the Injustice 2 mobile game getting beat up. Is considered homophobic because she's a bisexual? What?
Oh, right. You're not allowed to beat up non-heterosexual characters during Pride Month. So if a villain wants to destroy the world during Pride Month and happens to be gay or something, we must let it happen.
So like Black Pride Month, no one can shoot a black man or something?
Yeah, if they want to take over the world or destroy it during that time, we need to let it happen because racial guilt or something.
Okay, that's
Look, it's retarded. It's a video game. It's like you're just telling us not to play games during this wonderful month.
It's just trying to control people's minds, and it's disgusting.
Hey,
and especially it tells us that villains that gay people are allowed to be villains and get away with shit because they're gay. That's like,
hey,
you want people to hate gay people? Everything the SJWs are doing makes people hate homosexual, bisexual, trans people more, not less.
Could you imagine with Mortal Kombat? It's like you're not allowed to perform fatality, all right?
Yeah. Hey,
homophobic.
Hey, Wisp, do you want to hear some good news? Wisp.
There's no such thing as good news. There's no such thing as good news.
You know because the COVID restrictions have been extended in the UK.
What a surprise!
They've had to cancel. Yeah, they've cancelled my hometown's Pride Parade.
Oh,
it's great.
Oh,
yeah.
No, child sexual abuse in the street for
I know, it's great.
Oh.
The only good thing that came out of COVID.
Yeah. There's always a silver lining, isn't there?
Here's Francis Board Coppola for the donation. The answer to this video's question is because Windex chugging Marxists are in charge of writing them. Now, I'd have to actually look at the writers for the latest God of War, but I don't think the writers specifically are Marxists. They could be influenced by left-leaning ideologies, though.
I don't know. From what I saw of Dead of Boy, it seemed okay. It's an unorthodox story for Kratos, as we just know him as God, bashing from level to level with minor puzzles. But this is as a family story. It's okay-ish. There's you can interpret some of the things in the later ending stuff, but
it's essentially
it's fine. It's fine.
I know the director, the main guy, Corey Barlog, I think. I just don't know if there's anyone else besides him. that are right in the new God of War.
Right. So
I don't know for future games. For this one, for that of War, they kept Frey as the Oedipal mom that is just obsessed with her boy not dying, and I like that this twist that in this case Balder hates his mom for that. He hates his mom for being the Oedipal care asshole that she is, because she wants him to not get harmed. Therefore, she puts the blessing on him, which in this iteration of the story makes him also unable to feel anything, and he's just it's driving him mad. And I love this spin on the whole thing.
Yeah,
because that's actually a thing in the Edda, where the way Frey does it is that she asks every creature in existence, every twig around, to not hurt her boy. And that's how Balder actually gets invulnerable, except by mistletoe, and which is the way Loki kills him later on. So she's Frey is literally the helicopter mom who goes around and asks everyone and everything, please don't bully my boy.
all right.
And he ends up in and that's why I like this story here and in the game, that Balder resents this.
Well, I guess that they're going to do another story with Asian gods. With I guess just Kratos just goes around murdering all the pantheon of every culture. He just Chinese are next, Koreans, Japanese.
Next thing you know, Jesus.
What I'd expect of them at that point is, okay, because the Norse gods were already aware of Kratos' actions in Greece, so but it's completely understandable that they're wary of what this guy moved here. I don't like that. But after he went on murdering the Norse pantheon and then goes somewhere else, I'd rather think that the other pantheons would be stocking up their defenses massively against this guy. Like, don't come here. Fuck off. Go anywhere else, but not here.
All right. Here's Mike Testa. You can only use friendship or babality on gays. Oh.
No, that's still an act of hate.
Really?
You have to use gatality.
Oh. All right. Well, whatever you do in Mortal Kombat, have a great time. It seems like a fun game. I haven't played it in the past 15 years, but, it looks fun.
I only played the first Mortal Kombat game on the Amiga.
I played the first one, too.
Old school.
The arcade, actually, when it first came out. So that's how old I am.
I think I played the Mortal Kombat 2 on the arcade for 10 minutes when I was in Greece at the time.
It was like
then my parents pulled me out because this game is so brutal. Like, I've been playing this at home. You gifted this to my brother and me. What the hell? It's just that the arcade wasn't censored. The German version that they sold was completely censored. There was no blood in it.
The consoles,
that's so cool.
The console machines at the arcade were big. Like, they had big screens, big noise. So everyone, when it first came out, they put it right not outside, but right on the border of the arcade. Well, this is when arcades were a thing. The arcade entrance. So everyone just saw it. It's like, oh my god! It's like gore and blood, and it was great. Anyway.
And the arcades all had special hardware. That's why the games on there looked so good.
Yeah.
Many of the games you had in arcades later had console ports, and they were all toned down in the graphics.
I remember one of my supermarkets called Loblaws, like back in the day. They had a hacked version of Super Street Fighter Turbo, and it was like the Korean hacked version. So there's all these like Ken could like hover in the air and throw like multiple fireballs. Ryu could like, it was crazy. Everyone had different abilities and skills, and you're like, what am I playing? This is nuts. So, but arcades are cool, but you have to find the good ones in supermarkets. Apparently, I don't know. Anyway,
well, in the UK, we've got tons of like arcades on like seaside towns.
Oh,
They're like
cool.
really popular.
Really interesting.
Yeah, if you go to the seaside resorts, there's like it's just like arcades all the way down the seafront.
Interesting.
There's tons of things.
Is that like a touristy thing to do? Like you go down to get some fresh fish?
Yeah, touristy thing. Yeah, you go in and like the kids will go off and do the arcade stuff like the Street Fighters and like the Time Crisis, if you remember that game and stuff, and like the Dino Hunt, the big buck hunters and stuff like that. The grandparents would go to the penny slot machines, where you put like 2p's and 1p's in and like knock all the stuff over, and the mum and dads will just go to the bingo section. So there's loads of things at these places.
Interesting. Okay, I would be stuck at.
I really want to go back again.
Well, I'd be stuck at the actual restaurants on the piers and just be eating oysters all day.
I just thought that if Kratos ever goes to the Hindu pantheon, he'll have to kill for 5 games.
There's so many.
I thought Wisp was going to say. I can just imagine if Kratos went to like a seaside town in England, he'd just be stuck on the arcades all day.
Wow.
Boy,
where's my 2p? I need to finish this game.
Yeah.
And I was also fine with TL voicing Kratos.
Yes,
I think the voice fits the old guy.
He is a good voice actor, so I didn't mind that either. So, anyway, let's keep going. Francis Board Coppola again. Thank you. I enjoy God of War 4, but people claiming Kratos is only now a complex character don't play video games. They play movies disguised as video games. There's a big change in tone for sure between.
I'd agree, but I wouldn't say Kratos was a simple character before. Yeah. The gameplay is just focused on get from beginning of level to end of level, beat big monster. But the story around him is complex and tragic.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
The game is very different. That's the main problem I saw was the experience
thing is with these kinds of
games. Is it the lunar narrative dissonance?
Well, no, it's not
usually
that.
You have the main story about the character in the intro. And you have the game.
All the
and you
unique.
have to where more character stories.
The unique skills.
Very little character development during the game.
Oh yeah, there's a story element which I'm not going to talk about. I mean, the actual gameplay from the first series was much different than in the recent God of War. And you could even argue it's a slashing looter or a looter slasher, whatever you want to call the current one, because all you're doing on the quest is just here's a new item that is slightly better, and that's the whole game until you get to the story parts. So it's depending if you like that.
Yeah, it wasn't like over the shoulder.
It wasn't as much of a platformer. It was mostly over the shoulder fighting. Almost on rails at times, and with some story beats, which are fine, but it's not your same experience because of the nature of the gameplay, unfortunately. They did have moments where they brought back the chain. Was it the Chains of Chaos or the Blades of Chaos? So
yeah.
Anyway,
he did keep him for somehow.
I don't know. You gotta like the character, you gotta like the story, you gotta like the world to appreciate the change. Because I would be pissed off if I was if I was like a Chrono Trigger guy and they made a sequel to Chrono Trigger and it's a looter shooter, I'd be like, oh, forget this. No way I'm playing that. That'd piss me right off. Anyway, Mike Testa, and we'll keep going. Pretty sure the Chinese beat Kratos to the punch on that idea. The Chinese gods kill each other? Okay. Maybe.
There's a lot of stuff going on in the Chinese pantheon, but I think in Sun Wukong Kratos would find a worthy and fun enemy.
Yeah,
because you could say he's a sort of equivalent to Kratos, in the sense that he is ridiculously powerful. Like they had to bury Sun Wukong is another name for Son Goku, the Monkey King. he's so powerful that they had to bury him under a mountain in order to just lock him in place.
I think
It's kind of the level of strength.
if they went the route of philosophy, they could probably bring out all kinds of Buddhist elements and actually fight Buddha if you really want to go that far. I don't think that would make sense, but it would be fun to have a Western creator create these violent Buddha characters or whatever.
Maybe you can. That's the part where Hinduism comes in, and that's where Asura's Wrath did that pretty well. As the main antagonist, they chose Chakravartin, which is a god of ruling, if you will, of not upholding order, but a god of authority and ruling things. And that is the thing, the big thing that Asura is up against in the end. So the characters that are similar are Asura and Kratos. They do a similar thing for a similar reason. They've both essentially been betrayed in some way. They both lost their family due to how they were betrayed. And they try to go at whoever's behind it all, in a way. It's different stories in detail, but the general idea is similar.
Mm-hmm.
And in the end, it turns out in both that the people who seem to be the obvious string pullers and backstabbers aren't actually the force that orchestrated it all. That was yet someone else.
Believe it or not, there is a Mexican song about Kratos versus Asura, in case anyone wanted to hear it.
Can you repeat that? The chat distracted me.
Oh, there's a song of Asura versus Kratos in Mexican lyrics, but
okay,
yeah, no, people love these games and these characters. They're very similar. So, plus there's that whole animation with Asura's Wrath and Akuma from the Street Fighter series. So anyway,
yeah. Oh, it's amazing! It's amazing. Play Asura's Wrath, please get the game.
Okay.
Play it. It's
okay.
It's the closest thing to in what the SJWs love so much, the interactive movie that you can get. It is executed right.
All right.
It's the only game with QTEs that does it right.
Here is my test,
QTEs,
and then we'll go.
QTE is done right. Huh?
I hate QTEs.
Yeah. You hear that from someone who hates QTEs, and I say Asura's Wrath probably the one game that did it right because it's fun.
All right. They, as in they, but with the D, already killed their gods by banning religion. They didn't ban religion. I think that's more of a communist regime.
Yeah, they're trying to get. They realize that killing their old culture actually weakened them and destroyed them from the inside, and so now they're trying to bring up this renaissance of Chinese culture, which they're totally selling as this is the good communist choice. Like they're doing the opposite of what they did before. So was what they did before wrong? No, everything communism does is perfect. That's another story. And Ken Kaneki said that have you seen that Sun Wukong game some Chinese studios making? Yes, I saw a gameplay trailer. Looks interesting, good style. Seems to be one of these Dark Soul type games in regards to gameplay. Looks interesting. I forgot the name, but there seems to be some good Chinese game up ahead.
All right, let's go.
Spoilers ahead. Before the Marvel Industrial Complex was even a glimmer in Stan Lee's eye, there was another genre that dominated film in an all too familiar way: the Western. According to theorist Will Wright, all Westerns are born from one basic formulation: the story of a lone stranger who rides into a troubled town and cleans it up, winning the respect of the townsfolk and the love of the school barn. The other plots are all built upon its symbolic foundation. Westerns from the likes of John Ford, Clint Eastwood, and Sergio Leone dominated the Hollywood landscape for decades. There was no need for Iron Man or...
And anyone who's seen those three people...
Directors?
Wait, one at a time. What was that?
Huh?
Sorry, Wisp, go first. Go.
Did he... maybe I'm just ignorant on this, but did he just conflate actors with directors? But the Clint Eastwood movies written and directed by Clint Eastwood?
No, but later on, yes. But at that point in time, no.
Yeah, but because what I was going to say is, you look at anything that Clint Eastwood does with his like westerns, and they're not that formula.
Also, the spaghetti westerns where Sergio
Yeah, are
Leone had
not
his
that.
hands in are not that either.
Yeah,
Especially the more comedic Bud Spencer and Terence Hill westerns.
mhm.
Yeah, so these are
They do
specifically
very, very different stuff.
Yeah, this is specifically Sergio Leone's or other Italian directors that liked this format. So you could look to those genres or that genre with those directors, but not all westerns made by Americans rather were that style.
Yeah,
I would even say that of the westerns I've seen, the fewest are the pure archetypal story that he just lined out. It's like all of them are deviating from it, and oftentimes not even touching upon that very basic variant. I think that's just the archetype that we think of as a western, similar to in a medieval fantasy setting, the knight coming to slay the dragon. Like, okay, but most stories are not even touching upon that.
Yeah.
You could argue
it's just
a lot
of hero comes to place and stops evil.
A lot of these stories are inspired by Shakespeare and Homer and other plays. They all inspire from each other. This is true, but it's all inspiration. It's not like a replacement, or they're actually stealing mythos. They're making their own thing. And
yeah, it's just one of those things where I was just like, the three people he mentioned, I'm thinking of all the films that these people have done, and I'm trying to think of ones that fit that formula that was said, and I'm struggling a little bit because even in the 50s with westerns, they weren't sticking to that formula. They were changing stuff. So
I think the blind repetition of the basic formula is what we rather see in modern movies all the time. That's why they're so boring.
Yeah. Because if everyone thinks of a western, they always go to, I mean, like The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. I mean, that's literally one that everyone always thinks of, even normies. But I'm like, people see that as the western that everyone's got to like match up to, even though there's other ones that are quite as good. And I'm just thinking, where does this formula fit into that movie? I mean, it's like with Clint Eastwood, like High Plains Drifter. He's an absolute arsehole in that film because he's like literally could be the devil and stuff. Spoilers, sorry, for a 50-odd-year-old movie. Like Pale Rider and stuff. I try and think of what.
I think the closest one would be Once Upon a Time in the West. And even that is an adaptation because you don't really have the town.
It's that's even a hard one to even put it down with that. I'm just trying to think. Unforgiven is nothing like that.
That's a great movie.
Yeah, sorry. I like my westerns. I'm just trying to think what happens with these. I'm like, this idea is very. It's almost like someone watched Toy Story 2 with Woody's Roundup and went, "Yep, that's what all westerns are like." And I'm like, "Yeah, no."
And
are they not?
As a kid, I loved the Terence Hill and Bud Spencer movies, even the ones where they had the standalone things. And so when I grew older in the serious western, I wasn't interested. It's just maybe it's just a continental European thing. And much later on, because I had these prejudices about western, like it's not my, the setting isn't of my interest and all the other stuff. I just like the music. Then I actually took time and watched some of them, and I was surprised that these westerns, the big ones, all the big ones, are absolutely different movies from each other. They're not what you would. They're not predictable in the sense of the super basic structure that this guy lined out. They're still predictable in the sense of white hat versus black hat. Okay, but that's it. But all the characters are usually very well written, very deep. They often come out with little dialogue, which I also like very much when movies speak more through the visuals. Yeah, when I started watching westerns, which is just a couple of years ago. Great genre, great time in movie history. Give it a go.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And now I remember what I wanted to say. What I said before, what modern movies do is just go basic formula and repeat ad nauseam. And I think the most obvious example of that are the Transformers movies. To the point where even the script and the cutting is on the second in parallel between them. I remember when Red Letter Media watched the first 3 Transformers movies in parallel.
Yes, yeah, and
they
literally have the same beats.
Yeah,
same movie beats.
On the second, on the frame in some cases.
Mm-hmm.
Like now the intro is over, now the quiet part begins, now the action part begins, now the tense scene of a hero holds girl is, or some shit like that. And it's all in parallel. They're all the same movies.
All right. Here is Francis Ford Coppola. Let's also not forget Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Buddy comedy meets a spaghetti western with, and then that's it. That's all he wrote. So I'm assuming
he obviously ran out of words.
Internet gas or I don't know, something. I don't know stuff.
Yeah,
I just want to eat spaghetti now.
That is a good movie. Yeah, it's where they got the term Bolivian. Bolivian Army ending?
There's quite a lot of the 60s and 70s, not only from movie but also from TV, and I think he mentioned John Wayne or the Duke, so that's a good example as well. But
get off your horse and drink your milk.
Good old Americana.
That's a line that I always got. Yeah.
Anyway, let's keep going.
Captain America had Clint Eastwood being a badass and John Wayne leaking Americana all over every set he walked on.
Young fella, if you're looking for trouble, I'll accommodate you.
So, what happened? Where'd all the cowboys go? Well, Hollywood had a sort of Western backlash. Instead of producing traditional Westerns, they started making a kind of anti-Western, or what were called post-Westerns. Whereas your traditional Western would bask in the heroics of this,
dying ain't much of a living, boy.
The post. Why this is happening?
Oh shit! Sorry,
what happened?
Sorry, I was so desperate to press the pause button. That is literally wasn't
fat fingers.
Yeah. Sorry. That scene there shows that he never watched that movie.
How come?
Right. So anyway, this is the outlaw Josie Wales, I think it is, and there's a bounty hunter after him, and Clint Eastwood in this film is a bastard.
All right. Okay.
He's like a proper anti-hero, and like he literally lets the guy leave, and like the guy he goes, "Don't bother. It's living ain't much, dying ain't much of a living." Because it's like, Clint Eastwood knows he can kill the guy. The guy leaves and then comes back, and Clint Eastwood has to shoot him.
Yeah.
So it's not like a woo, yay. It's more of a, oh, what a fucking idiot. He's actually just come back and screwed himself. So yeah. Also, as this is a Clint Eastwood movie that he directed, it's like, it's not like a classical Western, because Clint didn't like doing classic Westerns. He preferred what like he did with like the Dollars trilogy, which were classical Westerns.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really annoyed me a little bit. It's a bit like you're bringing up these like post-Western things. It's like, and you don't even know.
The blood's boiling.
No, but it's one of those things. It's like, oh, look at this classical Western. This is not a classical. This classical Westerns is the 1950s black and white, like bloody what's his name, Audie Murphy sort of Westerns, where it's like, you know, ridiculously cheesy. Whereas like late 60s and like 70s Westerns, what Clint was doing was like gritty as well.
The only one I remember from long ago was with John Wayne. It was called Rio Bravo. That was that old. So, but that's a classic Western for sure. So
that's a classic Western. It's like She Wore a Yellow Ribbon, and what's his name? Oh, what's the director's name? He did the it's the Cavalry Trilogy, because there's Rio Bravo, She Wore a Yellow Ribbon, and another film with John Wayne in it, and it's all like with the U.S. Cavalry.
His name is John something. What the hell was it?
John Fonda.
John Feeney. John Feeney.
Yeah,
I think it was that.
Something I can't. Yeah, something. Yeah. But he did like 3 movies, and they call it the Cavalry Trilogy and stuff like that. And that's sort of like classical westerns. It's like, so it's like as well like the Alamo was like a classic western sort of with John Wayne in it, even though it's like not really a western, but it's got cowboys in it and stuff. So if he had shown that, if shown something like that with like this classical western thing, I believe his point. But he's showing a Clint Eastwood movie where Clint Eastwood is playing the anti-hero. I mean, like the anti-hero. So, yeah. This is not a cheery scene. This is not a cheer scene. This is a like showing that this guy's a mean killer.
Right, but I think he was trying to say this is a post-Western, whatever that is. I don't know exactly what that term means. So
no, but I think he actually said this is like a cheering scene.
I think he failed to describe the classic Western because you did that much better right now, Hawk. And he's just talking about the same kind of Western and calling it different names.
Yeah, there's so many different types of Westerns.
What would you classify as a post-Western?
A post-Western, literally after A Fistful of Dollars, it changed the landscape of Westerns completely. Everyone wanted that spaghetti Western feel.
But we're talking
where it was like more anti-heroes.
Yeah,
like 1964.
We're talking like after decades of hundreds of Western films and TVs shows.
Oh yeah. It's Westerns were like popular from like the mid 30s until like the end of the 50s, and then people wanted it to change a little bit.
Yeah, and that's why we had Star Trek from the first place, because it was a Western in space. So there was always a demand for this style of cops and robbers or lawmen and Indians or whatever you want to call it.
What was it? Yeah, well, the film Zulu was made because who was it? One of the actors told the like the backers and everything, but it's a Western but with British people. It's a Western with British people in Africa. And they went, we'll do it. People like Western. So
right.
It's like, so that's how popular it was. You could make any. If you said it was a Western, people would make it. A Western with a twist, people would make it.
Yeah, and that's how media is consumed. You get something which people like, put a spin on it. Hey, it's a veggie burger with real meats. You're like, what? What the hell's that? What does that mean? So you want
Kind of
these,
defeats the point of it being a veggie burger,
yeah,
right?
you want these marketing gimmicks to sell you on something, which is something you already know, but there's something new, and that is the point. You still get what you want, but you give a twist. It's like when you read manga. There's always going to be a story of a guy in high school surrounded by beautiful women, and there's magic and a military organization, and there's a hidden other and there's always some conflict about who this guy's parent was, and he's an outcast, and like I can just list every trope over and over. It'll keep happening.
Diet Coke Classic, now with sugar.
Now with no coloring. Now with cherries. Now with actual cherries. Whatever. It'll keep turning out that way. So.
Yeah, well, it's also like with like Clint Eastwood movies. Everyone knows, what was it, Pale Rider, don't they?
I would say Good, Bad, and the Ugly. Everyone knows.
Well, but everyone knows like what the movies that I mean, people here would probably know about Pale Rider, but like was it High Plains Drifter and Pale Rider are pretty much the same movie, but with two completely. He pretty much made the same movie a decade apart, with the same like settings and premise, but with like the stories are so completely different. And that's what I mean with like westerns. You can't really put westerns into the same thing. A guy tried to make the exact same type of story, but made two completely different movies.
Yeah,
it's essentially just the setting, which makes Western just a setting, not a story type.
Yeah, and neither of those two had the guy goes into town, woman falls in love with him, and all this sort of stuff. It's like, no, it's like High Plains Drifter is like, could be a supernatural spirit rolls into town to avenge the dead marshal and teach the town a lesson for being cowards. Pale Rider could be supernatural, could be a person rolls into town to take revenge against evil mining magnate who's like destroying people's lives and everything, but likes the town people and takes pity on them.
Yeah, then you have westerns with Indians, without Indians, with nice Indians, with bad Indians, with a mix.
Mm-hmm.
Focus
I mean,
more.
one of my favorite types, well, what you could class a western is Ravenous, which is literally about cannibals.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's got is it Guy Pearce and Robert Carlyle, is it, who was in Smud will know him from SG Universe, Stargate Universe, and that's quite an interesting one, because it's like an ancient Indian thing, and this guy goes nuts, and if you eat people, you get like their powers and stuff, and it's quite gruesome but funny at the same time. So I really like that one. But again, it's just so different with westerns, and I just think it's like the idea of this classic western died out. What we're looking 70 years ago, and wasn't really that popular to begin with. People were already looking for different things, even as early as like the early 50s. So anyway, that's my nerdy bit about westerns over. We can continue.
All right.
Oh, lovely.
Here is we got here. I think this is Francis Ford Coppola. Thank you, sir. We need to make a film script based off Mike Testa's schizo posts. Read all of his posts.
No.
Fed into an AI. It'll star Sam Hyde as the starring role, Movie Bob as the love interest, and Maggie Mae Fish as the villain. Sam Hyde? Okay. I can see Sam Hyde, but I don't know about Movie Bob.
Oh, God.
Why not Cavernacle?
Cavernacle is the
That's the love interest.
What a boring villain that would be.
No, not a villain. Oh boy. Oh, that's funny.
I'm gonna conjugate your
Cavernacle
sentence
is
for
the
you.
guiding oracle on the side.
No, he's
go
the
there,
Cavernacle would be.
Has no energy, and then you leave, and then you what's
No,
that?
Cavernacle's the Cavernacle's red shirt number 6 that dies before the first like ad break. That's
Yeah, let's hope.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to hear Renegade Cut's voice be like, what? What do you want? Okay.
What's going on?
wanna
I was
take
too
all
busy
the-
in northern South Korea.
I want to take all the gold away from the Americans and give it to the Native Americans. It's their birthright. It's like, what? What did you say? Gold?
And Knuckles there. Yeah, and then save the environment because we're in a Western and Westerns are about saving the environment.
Right.
Oh, God.
That sounds highly nationalistic. Are you sure you're not a Nazi?
Oh,
Oh.
okay. Let's go.
I wonder what he thinks about Cowboy versus Aliens.
The post-Western would show us this.
That was a movie
Give me some water, please.
with Daniel Craig.
Please, Slim. I'm bleeding, Slim.
The basic idea is that post-Westerns redeployed Western tropes to make new arguments about the ideas that Westerns took for granted. Now, like anything else, it's easier to show you how it works. So let's take a look at a true
he's making
classic
this up.
post-Western.
That's a bit weird.
Unforgiven
Oh,
follows
this is-
William Money, a retired gunslinger whose legendary talent for shooting was fueled by his old friend, whiskey.
I ain't like that anymore, kid. This whiskey done it much as anything else. I ain't had a drop in over 10 years.
Now sober and trying to live a peaceful life raising pigs, William gets pulled back into the gunslinger life to save his farm and family. Unforgiven is a post-Western because it takes the formulation of the Western and flips it. The heroes aren't mysterious and hardly clean anything up, but rather bring chaos with them in a quest for peace that isn't about a town
They
or
are still
ranch,
mysterious.
but about themselves and the future. This structure of the hero leaving the world of violence and myth behind, only to be pulled back in, is exactly the structure of, you guessed it, God of War, Logan, and The Last Jedi. In fact, they resemble the quality.
It's the same story of any guy who's gone through a certain point in his life, is removed from society in some capacity, and is forced to come back to do something, to right or wrong, to solve a problem, whatever.
Yeah, it doesn't really have to do anything with Western. It's just
All I know is
And Luke Skywalker doesn't
All
really
I know
fit
is
the
he
category.
he also showed in that thing two Clint Eastwood movies that are both classed as post-westerns, and then said one was a classic western.
Right, yeah.
I think this whole argument is made up.
That's ridiculous.
Also, even by that logic, the Disney trilogy, Luke, Jake Skywalker, doesn't fit that.
Luke Skywalker doesn't get dragged back into anything. What does he get dragged back into? He refuses the call again because he's a useless fat white man who should just be forgotten about because the original trilogy is rubbish. Rey's the bestest ever.
I think we can argue that any point he wants to make about Westerns or whatever has no place in regards to The Last Jedi. It's just there's
none.
Yeah,
whatsoever.
it's just
I think he points that out.
There's a job of calling the old grizzled hero who doesn't want to fight anymore, forcing him back into a fight because he's the only one who can. It's just which is in the end a twist of the call to arms for any type of hero who doesn't want to go on the adventure. He's just forced into it, and he has to do it. Otherwise, things are going to shit. And even though for the most time of his life now that may have worked out, but this is the story of where it doesn't work out and he has to act. That's all it is. And I would love to have something off the top of my head from classic literature or something. I can't think of anything right now.
Here is Mike Testa.
You have an example?
For what?
For calling the old grizzled hero back to arms.
It's like I think it's like a return call to arms or something. I think is the trope.
I would say maybe The Professional is an example of that. Even what's that silly film with all the action stars from the 80s? The Expendables. Just a bunch of old guys just beating shit up and blowing stuff up. It's just that's all they do.
But it's not serious,
that's an example
so it doesn't count.
after his argument.
Like, it's unexpected. It's ridiculous. You're not seeing a bunch of guys from ex-military careers coming back, and it's
from what I remember of Logan, he was still trying to get out, more or less. That's kind of this whole story. He just wants to get him and Xavier onto a boat.
I wouldn't even use the old Western as an example, because all it is one comic book that did the storyline, and they just modernized it a bit so that it would work with the movie. Everything else is...
Logan's in the desert, and desert means Western. Or does it mean something else? I watched a video about Maggie Fish and
James Mangold directed 310 to Yuma, so obviously Logan's a Western.
Oh yeah.
All
right. Even I just realised I forgot about that one. 310 to Yuma. Even the original one's not like a classic Western. Completely different.
It's as if the director is always trying to do something new. He wants to bring something special to the table. He's just not the same old crap. It's like, yeah, maybe he's good at his job.
Yeah, and this Kratos is the most obvious of these that illustrates what's going on. Kratos has his story done, technically. His whole journey with its war against the Greek pantheon is over. It's done with. This is basically you could say that of War is an epilogue for Kratos.
You can argue
Dead of War.
You could argue a lot of these tropes are similar, but they're in completely different settings, completely different genres, and all we're doing is recategorizing these ideas as a pattern of some kind. He's just calling it the post-Western. It could be called post-cheesecake. It doesn't really matter. He's just seeing patterns and making his own terminology up, and that's fine. You could do that, but it's not true.
Well,
it's not connecting to anything.
I wouldn't call those like the Clint Eastwood movies like post-westerns. I just call them like dark westerns or something. It's like, or as they're probably called now, just westerns, because that's become the western genre now. You don't see the 1952's versions of like westerns. You see like Clint's versions of westerns.
Yes,
you'll get
because they're the most popular. The most popular ones. They're the most qualitative ones.
Yeah, you'll get like women in a western that are the main posse, and they'll be shooting up a ranch or whatever. It's like, yeah, you could find a bunch of women with guns. Sure, anyone can be equal with a gun. No problem. Why not?
Oh, these westerns had strong female characters in them naturally.
Yeah,
because they had to be to survive that environment.
Exactly.
Yeah, I recently rewatched. Was it The Quick and the Dead?
Yeah.
That is such a weird western. Is it Sharon Stone? Is it in that one with Sharon Stone, Russell Crowe, Leonardo DiCaprio, Keith David.
Oh, really?
Gene Hackman. Yeah. Was it Lance Henriksen? I'm like, Jesus, these are all really good actors in such a stupid western. And it's like, yeah, but it's set in the same vein as like what the Unforgiven stuff. It's like dank, dirty, and disgusting. So even the comedy ones are taken from that style. So I think classic westerns are over. They've been over for like 70 years. So anyhow.
And I think
watch that movie. It's really funny.
And to rebrand the general, I don't know if trope is the right word here, but this story, this idea of a story of the grizzled hero that's worn down, that's tired, and has to be tries to have a normal life and has to get brought back for some reason. That has nothing to call all of that in the Western category or sourced in that. I just find absolutely wrong. It's rather the other way around. This is one type of story that has been done in Western as well.
Yeah. All right. Here we go. Here's Mike Testa. Caver will get bumped off in the first 10 minutes. Okay. I wouldn't want to write that story.
I support that. Yeah.
But okay. Mike Test again. Sam H as the star. Yes, Maggie needs to get bumped. By bumped, you mean killed. And Mike Test again. So Suburban Nights 5, it will be called minus Doug Walker. What?
Oh my god.
Where are we going with this, Mike? I don't know.
I don't know, this rabbit hole's getting deeper and deeper, and I just don't know where it's going to...
That's a joke, people.
I think Francis fueled Mike's ambitions here, but let's keep going so we don't get further down. All right, let's go.
Of a post-Western almost perfectly. So let's start with God of War. Kratos left behind his violent past in
Didn't leave it behind.
Into the woods to raise a family.
He was done with
he and
it.
his son Atreus travel across the realms.
There was
to
nothing left to
sprinkle
kill.
her ashes from the tallest peak. So we can already see a retired warrior looking for a calm life of chopping down trees. He
100% agrees.
Look at me, boy.
Boy.
But of course, nothing is easy, and he gets roped back in when Baldur gets wind of his presence and tries to hunt him and Atreus on their journey.
Yeah, but that has nothing to do with his past. He's just fighting a new villain. It's a totally different story.
You know, Kratos is an immigrant.
Yeah.
I don't even think it.
The dangerous one to move.
Wasn't there like wasn't Baldur trying to find his wife?
Yeah.
In that story?
Yeah.
You mean Kratos' wife or Baldur's wife?
Yeah, Kratos' wife.
Well, she was dead already.
But I thought Baldur didn't know yet. I don't know. It's been a while since I played that story.
I don't remember. I don't remember.
Yeah.
It's a very long cutscene
like
with him and Kratos.
Yeah, this hasn't really been like a return to the call. It's more the fact that crap just lands on Kratos' front door, and he's like, fine, I guess I'll have to deal with it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a quick fight, and then he takes his son to spread the ashes. It's still a personal goal for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it's
a sentimental goal.
A return. Yeah, but it's not like a return to. He's not like answering a call to anything. He's just literally crap has fallen on his front door, and he's like, "Well, I'm gonna have to deal with like this."
Yeah, you're right.
I mean,
by the ending, I was surprised.
My wife wants her ashes to be spread somewhere. I love my wife and want to respect her last wishes.
Well, is he trying to say that
tattooed cunt's starting a fight? So I guess I'm gonna have to deal with him.
Well, is he trying to say that like he's returning to the violence? Is that the return to call or
return to action? Possibly, but it's such a stretch because it's a bit like Kratos hasn't really got much of a choice, like of what to do, because literally, strange tattooed guy turns up at house. I want to fight you. Okay, fine. I guess I'm gonna have to fight you because you won't take.
Because he's not letting loose. It's the only reason.
Yeah, and it's also the fact that I've also got to like spread my wife's ashes. So can I just?
Well, I mean, the son could be in danger too, but yeah.
Well, mainly, I just have to say I felt let down by the game. It felt too short. It ended where I thought, oh no, the tutorial is over. Seriously, I thought, okay, we're doing the ashes thing now. Sentimental part done. Cool, was nice. And now we get to solve the actual stuff that is ahead of us.
Yeah, the riddle
following us, and no credits roll. Like, see you in the next game.
Yeah,
fuck you.
They threw in the whole past, or I wouldn't say time trial, but definitely something that was prophesized, and you're like, oh, cool. Where are we going with this? And then it just ends. You're like, oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
you can't tease me like that and then just end the game.
5.
Can you please make a whole game and not just half of a game?
Yeah.
No,
we don't have time.
Pain.
Well, I'd be interested in if they make a next game. It's like, because I think a lot of why it maybe got cut short is because they're trying to do it in all one take, which can be impressive, but I'm just curious if the next game will do that.
The major problem is a lot of game studios now want to make a trilogy of games of stuff, so they just like half-ass it so that the trilogy of games never get made. I'm not even joking. Like so many games I play now, I just know it's like I'm not going to solve this problem. There's going to be something else just for a sequel that I'm probably never going to see because the game's not going to sell that well.
Mm-hmm.
And oh, look, a shocker! It doesn't sell that well, and we never get a sequel to it. So I'm left with half a game. Like, great, thanks.
Yeah, or they cram everything they plan for 3 games into one. So either they stretch out the content of one game over 3 games, or they realize that, oh, we probably can't make 3 games, so we cram everything into one. And that is the same kind of mess that we see in movies quite often, where in the case of Princess of Mars, or I think the name was John Carter, that I decided on later on, because Mars and Princess of are both things in the title that seem to get bad audience numbers in historically speaking. It's very, very odd. Was basically a setup movie for a whole sci-fi universe based on an over 100-year-old science fiction story over several things. It was a I think 1912 or something. Whole space opera thing. So that's surprisingly good science fiction for that time. So that was just a setup movie.
It's John Carter and the Waters of Mars.
Yeah. And there's so much more sci-fi to that, and that was just a setup movie. Sadly, completely flopped. And
was it that what was the movie you said last time? Was it Jupiter Ascending?
Yes, that is the other example. Yeah. As the other example I wanted to bring up, the Wachowskis planned Jupiter Ascending as a trilogy at the very least, because you have the 3 children of the queen bee of the universe, of the galaxy. So you could make each child of the royal line to be the antagonist of a movie. But they crammed it all into one, because we're probably not going to make more movies. And it's completely overloaded. You don't have the movie doesn't have room to breathe. It's a problem of many modern movies. They don't breathe. The old movies, the westerns, old action movies, they breathe. Good as the comparison would be Die Hard 1 versus Die Hard 5. Die Hard 1 really breathes. God. You have time.
Yeah.
And there's worse examples than this. This is still a almost bearable example.
I've forgotten all about Die Hard 5. That's how bad it was.
Did you finally get to Die Hard 5? Oh God.
Yeah, I watched that today, and I thought I couldn't even pay attention. It was so uninteresting. And no, I even watched it yesterday. You
should watch Red Letter Media's review on it. It's funny.
I haven't seen. I'm stuck with other stuff right now. I'll have to catch up on a lot of channels. Yeah, no, Die Hard 5 it's also 20 minutes shorter than any of the other movies. But it doesn't have
bastards.
You need time to breathe. Your movie needs time to breathe. That's something Michael Bay doesn't understand, for example. In the Transformers movie, it's just action scene, 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 action scene.
You think?
No,
I'm getting. I need a break.
No, hold on. No, hold on. It's not like that. It's action scene, Megan Fox bending over a car, action scene, Megan Fox bending over another car, action scene.
I don't know.
One of not as many Megan Fox scenes as you try to make it out to be. It's not 1/3 Megan Fox bending over a car. That's not what happens. That would make the movies better. Let's see, and that's where I bring up the counter example of what Japanese movies, animated and real, do still a lot, which is a form of visual punctuation. Like there's a part of the movie is done, a scene is done, whether it's action or usually it's something psychological, emotional, some character development, some tragic thing happened, and you get this landscape shot that is just quiet. You have only a minor detail moving, like some animals in the background or some plants in the foreground that move a little, but it's generally a quiet scene, and it just gives you a moment to breathe and take in what just happened. And American movies or movie making in general, the American media overall, doesn't do that at all. Not in the slightest. It's gone. They just rush from scene to scene to scene to scene in the hopes that you don't notice that it's all bullshit. And that the writing's bad and it doesn't make sense.
Sounds like Rise of
when
Skywalker.
Yeah, because when you give a movie room to breathe, you have time to notice that. That's why the first Die Hard movie is pretty good. There's no... It takes the time to breathe, and there's not much to complain about it.
Yeah.
That's the same with many of these other old movies, because the people who wrote them did care. The first Predator movie, there's a lot of quiet scenes there. It's two types of movies in one, which is kind of funny, and then they pulled that off.
It's such a great movie.
Yeah, but it's all quiet scenes because that's what a hunt is. A hunt is quiet.
There was a survey in the UK, and I think 57% of men said they preferred watching the Predator over spending time with their wives.
I can understand that.
I thought,
that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I thought, I agree with that.
Okay.
Anyway, shall we carry on?
Probably get something out of it.
All right. Here's Mike Testa. Well, if I funded, I will buy Channel Awesome out of Linkara. Oh, sorry, out and Linkara. Mike, I wouldn't doubt your spending capabilities. So yeah, I mean, do whatever you like with your money, sir. But
go for it, bro.
I don't know if you actually want.
You coward!
I don't think you actually want to buy Channel Awesome for that sake. That maybe just fund the film or story.
Mike, make me director of a fantasy adventure movie. I have no experience, but I have love.
Oh no, we got more.
Yes,
we got more ideas from Mike. Here's the Mechanist. Try this on. Mike Testa, Big Mountain Access Code Smudboy, Command Override Navarro. Oh, thanks.
Oh no.
Oh no.
No.
You know, as much as I love Lonesome Road, I mean, that's...
What's your other favorite movie? It's No Country for Old Men.
Whenever I play the Fallout games, I always go with really good speech skills, so I tend to talk people out of things, so I never go that far. But the first time I played Lonesome Road, boom. Anyway, good little Fallout humor there, which is also a post cowboy film.
Western.
Post-Western.
Post-Western apocalyptic cowboy movie.
Post-tiramisu movie. Doesn't matter what you call it. Who cares? He invents all these terms.
Post-Western, God. It's like post-mortem, isn't it?
Post-superhero.
Post-samurai.
Drink whiskey to revert back to the legendary murderer in order to save the town and ensure his family's safety. Kratos is forced to bust out the Chaos Blade.
No, he literally shoots them up because they killed Morgan Freeman and strung him up outside the bar. Hence why he walks in and goes, "Whose bar is this?" and then guns down the bar owner.
That's somehow similar to Kratos bringing back the Chaos Blade.
But but the best thing about that is Gene Hackman's character goes, "He was unarmed," and Clint Eastwood's response is, "Well, he should have armed himself then." And it's like, it's like fucking, it's like he's like that. It's like, "You're a murderer." He's like, "Yes, I've murdered men, women, children, pretty much everything that runs, crawls, and slithers." And it's like he absolutely lays waste to all of them, and it's like all because they killed his friend. It has nothing to do with his family at all.
That's the right punishment for killing Morgan Freeman. Don't kill Morgan Freeman.
Don't kill God.
The plot of Unforgiven is Gene Hackman's character controls a town, and something happens with a prostitute where she gets her face cut up. So the local whorehouse asks for like bounty hunters to come and like kill Gene Hackman's character, to all that sort of stuff. And Morgan Freeman's character used to ride with Clint Eastwood's Bill Money, and he doesn't really want to do it. But Morgan Freeman still goes through, and then he gets killed, and then literally Clint Eastwood does the job, but not for the money, but to get revenge for his friend. And it's pretty good. It's a damn good film, but it's in no way shape anything like God of War.
Anyway.
At all.
In
any way.
Here is.
I underestimated this guy's analytical abilities.
Here's Mike Testa. I said if funded is. I'm sorry. Mike. Trying to clarify your sentences with bad sentences does not help.
Hang on. Let me just go into Google Translate and just see what this might mean.
I
There's
said
a Mike Testa translate.
If funded is will, but Tat's a big project.
Oh my god. Mike, Klingons speak better English.
Smud, do you take a sip before you read the super chat?
I do want to drink after this. Yes, I'm going to have to get one. So I have water.
To be honest with you, I've had a conversation with a drunk Irish guy, and that Irish guy spoke better English than Mike types.
Here is one more from Francis, and then we'll keep going. The guys who call films post this and post that would call 10 guys running a train on their woman post intimacy sex. Thank you, Francis.
Damn, post interracial gangbangs.
Anyway, back to the scene where where Clint Eastwood decides to drink again because his family was killed or whatever.
But that's not what happened. Well, whatever. Oh my god!
Hear this guy out.
Let's just go.
If you watch the movie, you know that this is not what. Oh well, whatever.
just hear him out.
Chaos Blades and revert to the death machine we know and love in order to save Atreus. Immediately, he's confronted by the ghosts of his past and the reality that he can't escape it.
You cannot change. You will always be a monster.
Sound familiar?
A man has to be what he is, Joey.
That's
Athena isn't really dead. There were remnants of her left. That's as far as I remember. She wasn't completely gone. She was just mainly destroyed.
But this is a big jump to Logan.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that, Hawk?
Why is it? The
same movie.
You can't change what you are. A man has to be what he is, Joey. It's a bit like, okay.
It's transphobic. Sorry.
Wait, what?
I'm just really confused by what's actually happening here, because it's like he's now jumped to this scene.
Yeah, there's no context. I don't even remember this scene.
Yeah. No.
This is Logan's funeral. This is where he's giving her a eulogy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So how can
she quotes that movie or whatever.
Okay.
Is Logan being what he has to be? A corpse? Worm food? Well, I don't. What was the?
Well, because he went, he took super steroids or whatever, and went to sacrifice himself to save his daughter, so that she could cross the border to Canada. I think. I don't know.
where everyone's safe because I don't know.
Out of jurisdiction, as if bad guys really care about.
Yeah, like we're 10 meters away from the border.
I
Oh
really
no!
simplify that, but that's
No, you don't know.
That's the end
You
game.
guys just don't understand Canada. It's like there's a force field that stops all bad people, except for all the bad people already in Canada.
If
Well, I
the
mean, he
US
did
would
kill
cross
everybody,
into
so,
Canada, Canada would
I don't know who would
apologize.
Yeah, they never go into why that would work. They just say, oh, we gotta cross.
Yeah,
cross.
as soon as you
The
cross
whole ending. I like Logan, but the whole ending of it, I did not like.
yeah,
at
the death
all.
scene wasn't very like. That was
meh.
It
I like the fact that what takes Logan out is a tree stump.
Yeah, that was meh.
But he's too old.
And then you get this cheesy children working together, being awesome, taking out the military guys. Like,
Yeah.
okay, you
Like,
got
that would have been useful before.
You got from a good grounded movie into the super cheesy stuff that this type of superhero stuff started out as. You plunged right back into the goofiness.
yeah.
And I think that destroyed the tone of the movie.
Yeah, all they had to do to perfect that was as soon as they crossed Canada, you hear blasting on these loudspeakers, Mr. Blue Sky from the Electric Light Orchestra.
Yes. Oh, Mr. Blue Sky.
Oh, it's connected to Guardians. Yay! Logan will return in Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Oh, did you
I
hear?
also didn't like the whole thing of this is where so she's his daughter. It's essentially a passing the torch story, but it didn't feel like she earned that in any way. Like many of the,
I don't even think it's passing the
I wouldn't go
torch.
that far either. Yeah,
she's supposed to be the new Wolverine.
Logan's last word is like, "Don't become what I did. Don't become me." You know.
Don't become a successful
If anything,
franchise.
don't
become a good actor.
well, it was kind of a surprise. It's one big surprise.
I might be wrong. So
yeah,
don't become ripped.
But I feel like that's what the ending was. Just
she was
just don't be me.
Pretty cool.
And just go live your life. Yeah,
and that's about a story.
Yeah. Anyway,
I don't even want a movie on her because they've been talking about there might be a movie, and I feel like that would destroy this movie.
Yeah, there's no need. There's no need for that.
Yeah, and I only saw it once in the cinema, so my memory of it is a bit hazy and.
Oh, okay.
It's a good movie. It's a good movie. Anyway.
Just watch it again, Wisp.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway,
it's great post-Western. Anyway, so
it's post-Western.
Break them off.
Just like Kratos, Logan used to be a turbo badass death dealer. I mean, his bones are covered in metal. But wait, who's that living in the desert like some kind of weird hermit? It's our boy Wolverine, but he's old and
the
sad,
desert, so it must
has
be a
daughter
Western.
now and goes by Logan.
You were an animal, but we took you in. I gave you a family.
Logan imagines the Wolverine as a past his prime limo driver who takes care of his elderly foster father. In the first few minutes of the film, his aversion to violence is put on display.
Guys, seriously, you don't want to do this.
But soon he's caught up protecting a young girl from assassins, cyborgs, and other goons.
Okay.
Like in God of War and Unforgiven, Logan is only drawn back into violence by his desire to protect and help a younger generation. But despite his intentions,
not what
the
happens in
violence
Unforgiven,
follows
you
him, and an innocent family's farm is turned into a
And it's also a
slaughterhouse.
standard
In
hero
response-
story. You're drawn into the problem because someone gets hurt, so you want to protect someone. It's just that this guy's old now and already had adventures.
Yeah, even
It's the only
Batman,
difference.
who's an anti-hero, saves people. So it's not a.
Well, and Wolverine still wanted to just leave. Like there's that little short joke that he did where he's like, "I'm just gonna find the nearest bar."
I'm still annoyed by the fact that he's literally completely getting Unforgiven wrong. It's like, how do you get that movie wrong? How do you base everything off of the wrong?
It's not about saving the younger generation.
No. Blue Money doesn't give a shit about anything. he's literally just annoyed about everything. And he just accepts that he's a bad guy. He just becomes the monster that everyone thinks he is at the end, hence why he's able to kill the entire bar of bad guys. Because he just goes, yeah, I'm just going to be a monster. I am just a monster. So, yeah, let's do it. And that's what helps him win, because he has no fear of the situation and is willing to accept death and be evil. He doesn't panic, while all the people in the room panic and like can't get their guns out, and like they can't even aim straight because they're just absolutely panicking left, right, and center. It's a good scene. You should watch the movie.
Well, it's a great film.
Unlike this guy, who obviously didn't watch the movie and just went, cowboy film, obviously must be saving a young, blah, 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 whatever.
Okay, here's Mike Testa. I am part Irish, sir. What do you expect from me?
Yeah, Mike, I'm 1/8 Irish. It's perfectly fine. I still don't understand a word you're saying.
Sorry, I had to leave for a second because the lawnmower guy's working right now.
Oh, we have subtitles. I'm sorry, guys. I
You
didn't
got the
realize
lawnmower guy?
Yeah.
we have.
God, someone's shown off their cash here, aren't they?
Anyway, we do have English subtitles. I was not aware of that. Yeah, let's use these as well.
Oh, there is subtitles. Oh, okay.
Yeah, people like this guy.
Once Logan tries again to leave the violence behind, but it sneaks back into his life as Laura and the other children are captured, and Logan's got to do some saving. Finally, he comes to terms with the violence, takes a serum, like a certain whiskey shot, and goes hard. He embraces the violence as the only way to save Laura, and finally finds peace.
It's a bit of a stretch, man.
Similar to Unforgiven, not to mention Shane.
There's no living with a killing. There's no going back from one. Wrong is a brand. A brand sticks.
Logan and God of War show us a former warrior turned protector who must swap the shield for a sword, or gun, or claws, or blades of chaos, despite the fact that all they want is to leave that life behind. They try over and over to get away, but they get pulled back in.
Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
Here's another old man.
I
don't know if you would put God of War up there.
It's just a strange.
I don't know. That's a bit of a stretch.
He is connecting one trope with an entire sub-genre category because he's old and getting pulled back into a scenario. That could be any adventurer in an isekai who's retired or who just doesn't want to do things anymore. And something happens. It's like, wow, that's the premise of every story. There's a complication. There's a rise to power or a call to power. You have to go answer the call or run away. It's like, which one? Maybe he runs away. Tell that story. It's no longer a post-Western.
I guess Uncharted 4 is like that as well because he gets pulled back into treasure hunting.
I guess so. It's just a pattern. It's one trope. It's normal. It happens in
but
hero
even then,
journeys.
it's like, okay, if you want to use that trope, how does Kratos fit that exactly? Because he was already going to do what he was going to do, regardless of what
things just get in his way.
He
was going to go leave his ashes on the mountaintop of his mother or of his wife, and all these things get in the way. Like any story would have conflict, yes, and you expect some violence in a God of War game.
Yeah,
What's
but
wrong
and also
with
with with Unforgiven. Clint Eastwood literally doesn't want to go ahead with the thing. He's going back home. He doesn't care. He goes, I don't care about the money. I don't care about this thing. I'm not doing it. Oh, your friend's been murdered. Right. Okay. I'm going to have to go and sort this out. Right. Not for these people, but because you murdered my friend, and he was a damn good friend. And then you display his body in front of your bar like some sort of sick trophy. Yeah, I'm going to kill you. Right. What's that got to do with it? How's that like?
Well, I'm very interested to see how he's going to get.
Also, why did he bring up Shane? That's
because they show that movie Shane in the Logan movie, I believe. Laura is watching.
Yeah,
Xavier.
but
so he thinks.
Shane,
so I think he thinks that that's somehow relevant to what he's talking about.
Yeah. Shane is.
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well,
I wouldn't put Shane and Logan in the same breath as each other's movies.
It's the same with The Godfather Part 3. It has no business being in this discussion. So
it's just because of that quote.
He's probably trying to make a joke
for
maybe?
that quote.
I don't know.
Yeah. No, he's just using it for that quote. And they pull me back in again. It's like
I'm trying to think of a specific one, but I can only say there's so many manga anime that have the old hero character, the experienced warrior that the hero or the party have to convince to join the cause.
Yeah, all the time.
Here's
a
one
standard
I'm
thing.
a bit surprised about that he's not mentioned. True Grit.
The original, right?
Of Westerns. Both. Getting an older person to come back and do stuff. Yeah. Both versions.
That's a great example. He would probably call that a post-Western.
Post-Western.
Yeah.
Even though, the original True Grit's a post-Western. Jesus Christ.
Oh god, everyone's gonna make that meme. Is this a post-Western?
I'm just taking a quick look at the stream memes. Yes. That is actually now been made a lot of.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, if you'd use the True Grit, either the old one or the remake has like the example, then I could understand. But he's not, and he seems to have like overlooked. Apart from one scene of John Wayne talking to that guy, because that was from True Grit, saying if you've got a problem, I'm more than happy to oblige. Other than that, he's not really mentioned that, and it's kind of weird because that fits this trope. That would be a good fit for this trope he's trying to push, but he's not doing that. He's trying to force it onto other things, and I'm like, why? Why are you doing this?
Well, again, I'm very interested to see how it's going to tie to Luke, because we're talking about sci-fi. I don't know if you equate an old wizard into an old gritty outlaw.
An old space wizard, an old space wizard intended for children to a gritty outlaw.
Space.
Let's just see where it goes.
Here's Tyler Preston. Have any of you seen the new Mutants film? Was that came out a year or two ago, or is that?
Oh, the new Mutants film.
Yeah.
With what's her name from Game of Thrones? No, I've seen a few clips, and it just looks boring and crap.
I haven't seen it either. Yeah. I mean, I want to for my girl.
Nothing.
I only saw a review, and it was not.
Yeah.
Very
See, I like.
Well, I mean, that movie was supposed to come out years ago, and then they kept pushing it back. And
2016, I think it was meant to come out.
They had a trailer; they're ready to go, and for some reason, it got pushed back.
Maisie Williams, isn't it? Is it Maisie Williams?
Yeah.
On,
so I
like. She's like a real little girl.
Yeah.
But now she's like a proper young woman now, and you're like, wow, she looks completely different in this movie than what she looks like now.
I do like
you can tell it's been like 5 years.
The new generation of superheroes they come out with. That's why I like Generation X when they did it in the 90s. They made that asinine TV movie called Generation X, and it was horrible. So I'm very skeptical of what they come up with next, because they did an okay job with the comic in the 90s, but that was not that great. It was still meh, but I liked it. So when they tried to adapt it to film or TV, it was like, oh my God, don't do that. So I can imagine nowadays what it's going to be like. So I did not see it, sadly. Anyway, let's keep going.
It gave off Fantastic Four vibes.
Oh my goodness. Oh boy.
That's what it gave off, and I was like, yeah, and that movie was
You don't like Fantastic Four? It's a good movie. It's a good post-Western.
My grandma was watching it because it came on TV, and my grandma will sit through any old crap. And she went,
why?
Well, she's old.
Thank God.
She'll
Okay.
just sit through anything. My grandma's really young. My grandma's only like 13. I'm like, yeah.
Well,
no, but she's like,
she still had the sense to change the channel, so that's good.
Yeah, no, but she went, this is really boring and really rubbish, and I don't want to watch it anymore. I'm like, yes, grandma, thank you.
Wait, which one? You're talking about the first
Fantastic
one or
Four,
the Or fan forced.
No, but fan forced it. The new one.
Oh, that
was
one.
that
that's
was just
really
shockingly bad.
Okay. Anyway, let's go.
Kratos wants a peaceful life for his son, and that means war with the gods.
No,
Logan
it doesn't.
wants to protect Laura. That means releasing the beast.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
Money wants to help his kids. That means hunting down those who might come after him.
No.
It's the choice to confront their painful nature for the sake
No.
of saving others.
No. He's portraying this as if the protagonist has to be proactive in all the killing. It's not.
Well, he doesn't. He's not proactive at all until Morgan Freeman.
Yeah, which doesn't make him proactive. It's just that's the initial event that tells me, okay, this guy that is doing this shit needs to go because he came after my friend or my kid or me. So I have to take him out before he takes out me or the person I care about.
But the thing is,
not proactive.
No, this scene where Morgan Freeman dies, you've got like probably 15 minutes of the movie left. You've got very little of the movie left at all after Morgan Freeman dies and Clint Eastwood kills because he kills the main villain.
Yeah.
So it's like he's not proactive really at all. It's like
yeah, and Baldur just randomly jumped at Kratos for no discernible reason in the beginning and said, okay, random fight now, what the fuck, why?
Yeah,
Kratos was living with his son perfectly fine without wiping out the Norse gods.
All he wants to do is go on that mountain. That's it. His whole plot is to get to that mountain. That's it. And there's all these obstacles in the way that don't need to be there.
Yeah. And it's not...
everything
it wasn't the mountain.
Kratos is just...
somewhere higher, I guess.
Yeah, Kratos is just going, I don't want to fight anybody. And Norse God's like, lol, let's just fight him. And you're like, oh.
Yeah.
You're killing other Norse gods. It's like, stop fighting one person you know who can kill you. It's like me going into like a lion's den and getting pissed off because a lion's... It's like me going to a lion's den, whacking it in the balls, and then getting pissed off because it's decided to maul me. It's like, what do you expect? You're going to get attacked.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's just not. You can't even compare it to like Logan either, because Logan's just trying to get a boat for him and Charles because Charles keeps having like what is it, seizures?
And that seizures that that can kill a lot of people.
Yeah, because it killed the X-Men.
X-Men. Yeah, it's supposed to kill the X-Men. Yeah.
All right.
So Logan wants to get people as far away from. Logan wants to get Professor X as far away from people as possible. So
that is, he cares for his friend, and then the plot shifts to the group of kids who want to go to Canada because they read in a comic book that it's safe. There's a safe place up there, and he's like, this is stupid, but he goes along with it anyway because there's nothing better to do. May as well help the kids.
A safe house built on a cliff that you could put on solid ground instead.
I've got a spare 2 hours. I can help you kids out.
Yeah. Anyway.
Well, I mean, it's his daughter. God, so heartless.
Anyway, here's Francis again. Life and death post-birth, flush, post-shit. Also, this guy is doing the Maggie May Fish thing, bringing up things that have nothing to do with one another, conflating other things and assuming we understand. He is connecting things that look similar. And that's fine.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean much aside from, hey, here's an old guy who's arguing or complaining that he has to do something.
Yeah, he's trying to use violence to connect all of these stories, it seems like.
The result ends up being violence, even in The Godfather Part 3, but it's all about a guy who doesn't want to do a thing he already did because he's already lived that life.
Yeah. Well,
that's the only pattern.
Smud, wouldn't you turn to violence if you had to deal with Sofia Coppola's acting?
Really? Is she that bad?
Oh boy.
Yeah, she is that bad. Yeah.
Dang, Hawk. Maybe that's why you got bitten.
What?
think it's more of a connection.
Seriously, she ruined.
Sorry, that
ruined
was a lame joke.
She ruined
It looks
that
to me like he did like he had this idea, and now he's working backwards from the conclusion to find things that look like it.
Yes.
Like, yeah, it's a really great idea, except my idea. Like, but your pattern recognition is shit.
Is Indiana Jones' Kingdom of the Crystal Skull a post-Western?
In that sense, yes.
I think when I evaluate Godfather Part 3, I'm sort of like, this is all sort of not that great. So it's like, she is definitely a highlight, but it's like, I'm already at McDonald's. I may as well order. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, its analysis attempts with
like we'll get an Egg McMuffin.
Yeah, you may as well. You're hungry. You gotta eat something.
I mean, it's analysis attempts like this that can help us find new patterns that have always been there and articulate them. But here, this is not the case. He sees something that is not there, and he names it wrong.
Yes, the categorization is his own made-up world. You can judge that for being good or bad, and I think Hawk has been very accurate on how he might misplace that. But there's nothing wrong with the act of categorization. And the way he's categorizing, we simply disagree with. So.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he could do better, right?
I think he's much more intelligent.
He could do better.
That he is able to put ideas together from a philosopher and tie that into characters in a movie in a psychological context. It's like, yeah, you could do that. Yeah, I've seen it done before. This is a bit of a stretch because he's connecting one pattern and inventing his own genre, or trying to invent his own genre of a movie and applying it in this sort of broad way, which I don't quite get. And maybe it's possibly logically linked. I just don't quite see it as clearly as he does.
Well, we still got Luke Skywalker to deal with.
Oh my God, Star Wars.
We'll see.
I will say, so far, still better than MatPat.
Oh,
still better than that last guy. Yeah.
Can we stop giving these people such faint praise just because they're not as bad as fucking raging lunatics?
Well, I mean, what would you rather die of? Would you rather get burned or drowned?
No, but it's.
This guy is still using a modicum of logic and reason. The basic things he thought he identified aren't really what he thinks they are, but he's still using logic and reason to pull it all together.
Would you say he's being disingenuous?
No. I think he really believes he sees this pattern here, and I think he just doesn't know better. I think he just lacks the knowledge of having seen enough.
And because he's not as ideologically twisted as Maggie May Fish, it doesn't come across as crazy. It just sort of comes across as, hey, this is a movie where this thing happened. Hey, this is another movie where something like that happened. You're like, yeah, and?
Isn't that cool?
Well, the average viewer goes cool.
He's not totally over-interpreting it.
Yeah, the rest of us go, what's your point? What's the big deal? So, yeah.
Well,
it's a trope.
Connection.
Yeah, it's a pattern. Yeah, bravo. Of all these stories of an old dude coming back because someone needs his help, it's like, wow. How many of those?
Look, I'm pretty sure he gave Last Jedi a hard time. I'm pretty sure it's the same guy. We'll see.
Yeah. Anyway, we have 2 minutes to go because this thing ends sooner than you guys think. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The last 3 minutes are just him talking about all these pilot projects, which sound great, but we're not here to listen to some guy. My channel is going to be awesome. It's like, okay.
Well, I'm here. No, I'm just kidding.
Anyway, let's go.
Redeems Logan and money. So how does The Last Jedi fit into this?
It doesn't.
Not quite the same.
I don't think the violence redeems Kratos. He just uses violence to get out of past the hurdle and keep going.
Is that what he said?
This is not a story of redemption. Okay. God of War is not a story of redemption.
No, but is that what he said about redemption? Is that what he said, though?
Well, just rewind it. This doesn't make any sense.
Just rewind a bit?
Painful nature for the sake of helping others that ultimately redeems Kratos, Logan, and money.
Okay, so you could argue Logan gets some redemption, but I don't know from what. Exactly.
For what though?
Money doesn't get Clint Eastwood's character doesn't get any redemption whatsoever.
I mean, what, for ignoring his daughter? Maybe, but that's a stretch.
Unforgiven is called Unforgiven because Clint Eastwood stays unforgiven and doesn't get redemption.
How are we on this again about redemption?
Literally, some of the last words are Gene Hackman saying to Clint Eastwood, "See you in hell," and Clint Eastwood's response is, "Yeah, sure," because he knows he's going to hell.
Yeah,
and it's like,
totally.
I'm just like, how does he get redemption at the end? You keep saying redemption. I don't think you know what that word means. I really am getting this.
I'm going to redeem myself
I
by
know.
killing people. It's like, that's not quite how this idea of forgiveness works.
Yeah, Kratos doesn't get redemption.
I'm going to redeem
Unforgiven
myself.
is not about redemption.
Yeah, because
I don't know, Logan. You could, but that's stretching it so far.
Remember that comment? I remember Samara was at Mass Effect 2. She says, "I'm going to have to teach the Krogan humility or something. I will need many bullets." You know, it's like, yeah, I'm gonna teach these people how to be patient. I will need extra artillery pieces. It's like, I'm gonna kill them all. Okay.
What does this is a stupid question. What does Kratos need redemption from?
For killing the Greek gods.
Those were assholes.
Yeah, right. I know. It's one of those things. I'm like.
They killed his wife.
Yeah, they killed his wife. They cursed him. They manipulated him. Athena manipulated him the entire time. The Titans, Gaia, manipulated him the entire time. The gods just used him as a tool, just like they used the humans. And Kratos brought an end to that.
And it's not like...
What does he have to redeem himself from?
Yeah, and it's not like they reinvented his character, I don't think, in the fourth God of War.
If anything, he had done his job, and now he's just wanting to live the quiet life. And I don't think he has anything to even regret at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Would regret had he not killed oh God, how do you pronounce that in English? Zeus?
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 Yeah,
Zeus.
In English.
Zeus?
Is that the English translation?
Yeah, Zeus. Yeah.
Oh.
Why? What do you call him in Germany?
Zeus.
Awesome.
Oh, that sounds more badass.
Yeah, it sounds like a lightning coming down.
No, he sounds like Veruca removal. That's what he sounds.
Yeah,
sounds like the diarrhea version of a lightning.
I thought
somebody clipped that.
I thought it'd be something like Zeusenhofer or some sort of extension.
No.
Longer.
Zeusenmädchen Munchkin Brausch.
Voice.
God.
Zeuschester sauce.
Or maybe it'd be the phonetic literal, like I am the god of lightning, smash, crowd, loud noise, boom. Something like that. Because we already have a god for lightning, crash, boom. We need more adjectives to fill that in.
I mean there's still some minor gods left in Greece that nobody gives a shit about.
Yeah, exactly.
There's probably some pawns somewhere. There are probably some nymphs here and there left.
Oh yeah, that's right. Lots of nymphs. That's for sure.
Ooh.
Anyway.
Oh, nymphs.
I just wanted to say real quick. Mateus was trying to correct me. Hold on, let me see the message real quick.
What do you say?
She said
she.
No, not she. Kratos killed his own family because he was manipulated by Ares.
Yes.
So
yes.
That's why he wanted to kill them.
He didn't know it was his family when he did it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then he got betrayed again and again and again.
Again, yeah.
Yeah, so how does
The
he go
Greek
through redemption?
Yeah, the Greek gods sort of deserved what they got.
Yeah. So what does he do? What does he need to forgive himself from? Like, what did he do? That's bad.
Yeah.
Kratos
Also, what does Logan need redemption for?
I don't know.
I have no idea. It's like claiming that Asura needs redemption from something. Like, what the fuck? That's the guy who was screwed over all the time by everyone else.
Yeah.
Until he kills the reason for everything.
Redemption? That's inconceivable.
Yeah, and why does Asura kill the god behind the gods? Because he made his daughter cry.
Well,
that's a dad. Asura is best dad.
Mm-hmm. So we've figured out that 1, he's never watched a Western. 2, he doesn't know what redemption is. And 3, I don't think he's even watched Logan playing God of War or done anything.
I mean, I know they keep trying to say that Logan's a Western, but if that's what it is, they did a pretty bad job.
No, it's a post.
Not really.
It's post.
I don't know.
Post-Western. Everything is a post-Western.
It's way too much.
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory is a post-Western.
Star Trek Generations is a post-Western.
The Punisher is a post-Western.
Frozen 2
Lone Wolf and Cub is a post-Western.
Mm-hmm.
You could make the
Cars
argument
is a post-Western.
You could make the argument that some of the Japanese, like the Kurosawa films, were inspired by.
Oh no, where?
The westerns.
Yeah, I love to see Zack Snyder's post-Western.
Oh no.
Zack Snyder's post-Western cut. It's 17 hours long, and it's just got the word redemption in a desert.
All
right. And it's filled with just like Norse women singing with a jump.
That reminds me. I remember Logan. They released a noir version. It's just basically the movie in black and white.
Yay!
But people were saying, "Oh my god, it's so cool! It's so stylistic. It's like it's black and white."
Yeah,
I just put it into my video editor and just took out all the saturation and color and just like that's all you baked it.
Yeah, right.
I don't know why people are impressed by that.
Give me $40 more for this black and white version.
They did that with Mad Max. It's like, okay, cool, so impressive.
Yeah,
Mike Tester, you seem to have endless money. I still want my noir style Star Wars movie on Nar Shaddaa with characters that nobody knows.
But make
Please
it
fund me. No, it's a noir movie.
A noir post-Western.
On Nar Shaddaa, yeah, with the occasional Jedi Sith Easter egg jumping in the background on some high buildings with just some pixels in the background that you don't notice actively. That's the only reference to that you get. Everything else is normal Star Wars universe without all the bullshit.
Is your character a bastard with a heart of gold?
Oh, they're all the same.
Yeah.
It's just a white guy with
a white guy with a beard.
No. You can't say beard because some of them didn't have beards. Just facial hair on the head somewhere. Some follicles growing up.
It's a guy. It's a white guy with half a beard who's a bastard with a heart of gold.
It's a stereotypical guy in a trench coat and a hat who smokes too much and talks in inner monologues.
And does he have redemption?
But it's Star Wars.
Star Wars Redemption, the post-Western noir film by Mike Tester. Yes,
post noir. Post noir because it's in color.
Post noir Western postscript.
Oh, that's brilliant! Yes, this will save
color
Hollywood.
Movies in color are just post noir.
Post Adobe Premiere. It just turned out. Turn off the colors.
Well, no. All I want is like in the old like in the '60s when it just goes in color at the bottom of the TV. So it's like Star Wars noir in color.
Okay.
No one's ever done that before.
Here we go.
Movies are just post books.
What are video games that post movies?
Yeah.
Is that because video games are the
pinnacle of storytelling?
Video games are the best form.
Video games are just
of
the highest form of storytelling.
The highest form.
Storytelling.
No one's noticed. No one's ever
But
noticed, guys.
Video games are just post board games. That's it. That's it.
And we'll close the circle with the next level when it's just imagination is just post video games.
Yeah.
Then we'll start
Nintendo's
from the
already
beginning.
doing that. You can buy the Nintendo what's it called, Labo, where you get the cardboard box
I
and you make all
I
kinds
don't
of designs with it.
I thought about the goggle thing, but I thought you are really selling people cardboard now, Nintendo. You fucking genius.
Hey, if people are gonna buy it, people are gonna buy it. It's
we gotta think outside the box.
But
did you just say?
By using the box?
They're trying to do.
Yeah,
but that's basically cheap versions to integrate the Joy-Cons into for their movement sensors. So you can make a fishing pole with that. You can make a mech suit with it, so that you can move around like and motion control the mech in the game. Things like that. That's what it's made for.
I'm just imagining like you gotta think outside the box, and someone's like, "Yeah, losers." And it's like, "I'm actually gonna sell them the box." So it's like,
just pulls out an X-Acto knife, starts cutting away. There you go. Look at that. It's Yoshi.
Yeah.
Just make sure it doesn't get wet.
It's my Yoshi
Otherwise,
statue.
you'll lose the console and the box.
if you sit in it, you can pretend it's a car, or a boat, or a plane,
Or a gun.
It'll be a transforming foldable Wii unit that you can turn into a plane. The sensors on the back of the plane. Oh yeah.
Some people will literally buy anything. Some people have way too much money.
With that stuff, you have to keep in mind, Nintendo is aiming the stuff for kids. So you're basically making mixing a high tech gadget like the Switch and its controllers with classic haptic toys.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's an interesting idea.
Kids enjoy boxes.
Yes.
And it's ridiculous how much kids enjoy boxes.
Yes, like cats.
I bought my son for Christmas this like big not like dollhouse thing, but like it was like I can't even bloody remember what it is, like something that you can like the people are like almost like balls and you could roll them around because he enjoys like pushing things down like chutes and stuff. And it was this big huge thing. It was like twice the size of him, and got it out and he just climbed into the box. Never touched it. And I was like, okay, cool, great, okay, that's £80 wasted, isn't it? Enjoy the box.
My nephew's kind of similar. He likes, for whatever, he's still growing up, but he likes lights. He doesn't care what kind of lights. He just likes lights. And if there's lights in a room, he's like, lights. You're like, dude, it's a pot light. Lights. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Look at this awesome toy I got you. It's like, no, lights.
Lights.
Like, you're gonna hurt your eyes. Stop looking at the damn lights, you crazy kid.
Just if you're gonna look at the lights, just step a little bit back.
Yeah.
From them. Don't put your face into the light.
You give him a tiny little like one of those pen light flashlights. He just moves his arm around like, whoa, that's amazing. So yeah, doesn't take much.
Oh.
Go to the dollar store
kids are
for
so
kids.
easily.
Yeah.
Kids are so easily entertained. I was just like,
amazing.
but like, because my little lad's 2 next month, and now that he's been able to start walking around and stuff, he just crawls into boxes. It's like, okay, cool.
Awesome.
So I know. It's like, okay, boxes.
Hey, so Mateus,
boxes are just, it's all imagination. It's the best. You just have to. A box is basically a 3-dimensional blank canvas. It's great.
Real quick, Mateus just wanted me to mention something about Kratos and God of War 4.
Is it that he's Greek?
Yes, just in case nobody knew. That he was fleeing the past, and to some extent, he did escape his past. Like throughout the game, I hope I'm reading that correctly. His past comes back to haunt him in some places. I hope I got that right, Mateus. If you're watching.
Yeah, I remember that, but I think that's just Athena trying to mock him, annoy him, because he
I think,
completely wrecked her plans.
Well, I think
whatever's left of her is trying to annoy him.
What was that underworld called? Where they go to hell or something?
Hades.
Hades. I think you even see. Right.
I don't like
think
your
you
German
see
pronunciation of these things.
Oh, sorry.
I'm joking.
That's fine.
I believe you see Zeus, or how do you say it? Zeus.
Zeus.
Yeah.
Zeus. Oh yes, Zeus. You see him and sort of in the glimpse far away, and he kind of taunts Kratos, and I think his son says something about it, and that's when he starts to reveal to his son about how he killed his father, and that how he's a demigod or whatever. I could be wrong, but because it's been a while since I played that game.
Yeah, I remember it's revealed to him at some point, and then Kratos kept it from him for good reason, because the boy very quickly went a bit into arrogance right away. Like, we're gods, we shouldn't do this or that. We shouldn't bother with this or that. Yeah, that's exactly the reason why you were not ready for any of this, boy.
All right, let's back at the video. First, some super chats.
Let's finish this off, yeah.
Joe Crazy, Aphrodite is still alive though. Yeah, he didn't kill her. I wonder how that boss fight would have looked like. Yeah, so do I.
I think it would just be an elaborate sex scene, and whoever survives it is the winner.
Kratos would win. Yeah, he would pretty much destroy.
So that's like most relationships then.
Yeah. The Mechanist again. Some samurai movies were inspired by noir. I have to think about that one. Noir.
Also, I have to. I also have to laugh at a lot of the famous westerns were based on samurai movies as well.
Yes.
I think that's the back and forth.
We're talking back in the day. Noir is
7 is based on 7 samurais, and then A Fistful of Dollars is based on a Japanese story as well. So, yeah. Anyway, continue, guys.
All right, here's Mike Testa. Someone get me Hawk's avatar. I'm making reality.
Oh no! No. Whoever no.
Uh-oh.
No, I'm frightened now. I really am frightened now.
Yeah.
I'm making reality. My own twisted version of reality.
And Smart just on the side posted some pictures of the Nintendo paper mache boxes that they sell.
Yeah.
That honestly, that kind of looks cool. But I wouldn't buy it still.
Kind of reminds
I
me.
love the idea. They play around with their stuff. They still innovate.
Remember when they did the kaleidoscopes at McDonald's or whatever? You just put your cell phone into it and you sort of. What the hell?
Really? They did that?
Was it kaleidoscopes or was it something else? I can't remember. A viewfinder? What the hell was it? I couldn't remember, but it was a Happy Meal of some sort. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Let's go.
Okay.
One more donation. I just heard it ring. Francis Bortgopla. Oh boy. What if Hawk's name was Cock? I think that would be funny. Thank you, Francis. You comedian, you.
Cock.
Wait, hang on. Hawk's name was Cock. Oh, wow, thanks.
Sarcastic cock.
Yeah.
I don't know about that one. Anyway.
It's like it ends with a C and it begins with a C, so I might be a little confused.
CAWK. I don't know about that phonetic, but okay. Thank you, Francis. Anyway. Let's go.
So, how Last Jedi fit into this? It's not quite the same, but just as those characters are forced to don a mantle they've dreamt of leaving behind, so too does space hobo Luke Skywalker. He isolates himself, renounces his legend, and even gives up using the Force.
You've closed yourself off from the Force.
But he doesn't, because he does these jumps to fish. He ends up protecting himself when he's fighting Rey, and then he uses it again to teleport himself, his mind, whatever. So no, he doesn't.
No, that's later after he.
But doesn't he close himself off to the Force? But he can still use the Force, right?
Yeah, but that doesn't make any sense. That's what I mean. He's hiding himself very well, so she can't figure it out because she's a stupid girl and he's a Jedi master, and she doesn't know what she's doing until she needs to.
Woman. Use the word you were gonna use, because the way you cut off that B wasn't very subtle.
Oh, you're gonna say stupid bitch? Say it.
No, I only reserve that for the girls I like. So no.
The girls you like, you call them stupid bitches.
Well, not stupid.
All right, I mean, I don't
not with that adjective. One word at a time, sir. It doesn't take too many words to the girls I like. So. That would be confusing. Never use more than one adjective when describing a girl. That's just too much. You're going to confuse yourself. Yeah. She'd be like, "What the hell? I'm nice, pretty, kind, sexy. What's going on there? I'm confused already." Anyway. So yeah, he's got this.
I think of you as somebody I met. That's all you have to say.
I was in a bar and we were drunk, and that's about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Anyway, is your sister single again? Oh no, sorry.
Back to Luke, who shut himself off in the Force, kinda, sorta. Yeah.
Except when he didn't.
Yeah.
Just as the post-Western reevaluates the glory of the traditional Western, so too does The Last Jedi reevaluate the deeds of the Jedi Order and the mess they've left the galaxy in.
At the height of their powers, they allowed...
So when they got slaughtered by Darth whomever, Sidious, was it?
Sidious.
It's their fault?
Yeah.
Okay.
That mural looks stupid.
Well, actually, I was going to question, how is it their fault?
Mosaic?
It's not their fault at all.
Because I don't watch the prequels that much, but only for the memes.
They really had like it.
What's his logic that they?
Yeah, they just let Sidious win. It's like that's really.
But Sidious was undercover, right? Like, nobody knew who Sidious was, really.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I'm just a bit like, that's kind of disingenuous to say that.
The movie, right?
Yes, win.
Yeah, the Jedi didn't leave the galaxy in a mess. They
died.
They were killed.
No, they didn't. They didn't die. They got murdered.
The Jedi were trying to defend the Republic and the peace. The problem is, they too were just used all the time because the whole conflict of the Republic against the Separatists was puppeteered from the very beginning by Sidious. The Separatists were led by Count Dooku, who was the disciple of Sidious.
Yeah,
so that he controlled both sides. Sidious controlled both sides.
Also,
controlled the whole conflict.
How does Luke know all this information about something that happened 19 years before he was born?
The Jedi text? I don't know.
Well, because
I don't think that part of history is even recorded.
Yeah, but nothing in Star Wars history is recorded because defeating the Empire is a fucking myth. Supposedly,
if you want, but if you want to stretch it, maybe Yoda, Obi-Wan, Force Ghost. Okay, maybe.
My point is, how does Luke know about stuff in the past when people
but if they could come back as past? I know, but if they could come back as Force Ghosts, could they not inform him about the past? That's what I'm asking. I'm not saying it's a good question. I'm just throwing it out there.
Eric, it's not a good question. It's a very terrible question. But
the whole Force Ghost thing and how that works is completely all over the place, depending on which Star Wars medium you watch. And I would not give a shit about what the Disney trilogy made out of it. If you just go by the original trilogy, Force Ghosts seem to be linked to someone who knew the person.
Yeah,
you needed some connection. You can't just have random Force Ghosts from someone you never met, like Rey does in the ending of Rise of Bullshit.
Well, and there is a line that Luke said that I really hated, where tell me if I'm right about this.
Just one.
He says
one line. Okay.
Well, he said they allowed the birth of Darth Vader.
Yeah, but it didn't really allow.
That's also crap.
Dead.
That's
dead.
The Jedi didn't do that.
A Jedi.
What the fuck is that? How? Yeah. That makes no sense whatsoever. Obi-Wan
a certain Jedi. Yeah, but hold on. A certain Jedi cut off Darth Vader's legs and arms. So we didn't really allow and then watch them slip into lava. We didn't really just allow it to happen. Yeah, it didn't really allow it. I mean, imagine that. Imagine what a cunt if he allowed it. Yeah, Luke. No, Obi-Wan, your mentor.
The thing is that Sidious corrupted his mind, though, and then he went and mass murdered a bunch of Jedi, especially younglings. How is that their fault?
Yeah, the only argument you can really make is that Obi-Wan was a shitty teacher to Anakin because he's not been a mentor properly. He's rather been the constantly teasing brother. He was constantly doing snide remarks towards Anakin. You see that in the movie. You see that in the Clone Wars series. Like, he's not Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan is a wise and intelligent guy, but he's a shitty teacher. He's not, and Anakin is under constant pressure by the constant snide remarks and jokes by Obi-Wan, and essentially constantly has to defend himself against that. He only makes these jokes back because it seems to be the only way, but essentially Obi-Wan is from childhood on undermining Anakin's self-esteem. Not to the point where he's humbling himself, but beyond that. And that is what makes Anakin prone to, hey, not Sidious, but Palpatine. This Palpatine guy, he's giving me actual praise for something he barely ever got from Obi-Wan.
But again, I'd pick on Anakin because he's such a whiny little brat. I'd bully the shit out of him, but that's just me.
Well, and he has a pregnant wife.
I'd be a very bad Jedi though.
Yeah, but it looks to me like you can make the argument that Obi-Wan might have had a hand in turning Anakin into the whiny brat.
Yeah, maybe.
Because Obi-Wan didn't even want to be his master. He's just fulfilling the death wish of Qui-Gon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but you'd have to say after, what was it? It was 13 years. I mean, he's going to be... He obviously stuck with it and wanted the actual best for him.
Yeah, probably, but that doesn't mean he's ready for that. It's also the thing.
The
whole thing. Anakin was too old. Second, Obi-Wan himself was, I think, just a Padawan at the time.
Yeah,
and it's rather odd. It's rather.
I don't know.
It's for the kid series, but technically. Anakin getting, while he's a Padawan, a Padawan of himself in Ahsoka Tano makes even less sense technically. Well, it's just that she is actually a better character and has a better personality.
That is still a stretch if you want to take it literally, because they were friends and brothers and mentor and teacher or mentor and student for years and years, and it's really just bad writing that causes Mr. Darth Vader to become Darth Vader. It's so dumb. It's so stupid. Yeah. You just sit there and go, this is retarded.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But the relationship set up between
Obi-Wan what have I done?
It's like, disregarding...
It destroys the whole situation.
I just don't know if Luke would say that about, his father.
Well, again,
it's just very,
with Luke,
very strange.
He is trying to put blame elsewhere because he's so fed up with whatever. So he's just throwing it anywhere. Oh, they caused this all to happen. They weren't defenders. They didn't defend anything. It's like, yeah, but they got killed. So you can't blame them for losing.
They got killed. They got killed trying to.
They got murdered. They got stabbed in the back, literally. Yeah. What were they supposed to do? Not
expect
the unexpected.
Jedis can't have backs.
Yeah.
That's the rule.
You can only write this line for Luke Skywalker if you have absolutely no clue of even the Lucas movies before this.
If you want to demonize the Jedi, what the hell? How do you characterize the Sith? Like they are horrible. So yeah, you could say, oh, the Jedi did not do a good job, but at least they were there. At least they were trying to do good stuff throughout the years, thousands of years apiece, whatever.
They don't seem to have the understanding of how the Force works.
Yeah, but
that also plays into the whole plague of problems that this film has with this character development.
I could understand some disgruntled guy who the Jedi failed to save, to say this line that Luke says, but not Luke.
The problem is the fact that they had to make the Jedi seem crap. Because otherwise, how else would they make Kylo Ren a heartthrob and make girls like him if he's a Sith and the Sith are just evil? There has to be this grey and
let
grey.
the past die. Let's let all that die. Let's not have Sith. Let's not have the rebels.
It's the grey and grey where they make one side so bad they have to make the other side bad as well when it's not, just to make grey and grey, and you like.
Then that's what's so stupid. Okay. The movie ends with, just the Sith against the Jedi. So
I know
all of it's pointless and retarded.
Yeah, it's almost like it was written by a fucking retard. But
the artiste.
Anyway,
a round-headed faggoty retard.
All right. So anyway, let's go. Here's the Mechanist. Kurosawa based Yojimbo off a Dashiell Hammett novel. Really? I didn't know that. And even got sued for plagiarism. Holy jeez. Which one was it? I have to read it now. And Kurosawa had the nerve to sue Sergio Leone for plagiarism? Wow.
Yes, because that's what...
That's funny. I didn't know that. I know they were based off heavily of both after they came out, but Sergio Leone's work? Really? Holy crap. Didn't hear that before. I love to read the novel because I like Dashiell Hammett. Anyway, Bear Business 1. Thank you. If the younglings weren't youngling, they would have been left alone. They should known better. Yeah, I can write like Disney writers. I thought you were trying to write like Mike Testa there.
Yeah.
Oh God.
If only the
okay.
younglings weren't younglings, then it wouldn't be like the Jedi's fault that Darth Vader exists.
But think about it. They have to be
it, but it's
younglings,
so
otherwise
stupid.
they'd be melted.
Oh God.
Oh, fuck off! Well,
with a lightsaber,
yeah.
you would technically be melted because it goes right through you. So,
yeah. Oh,
just like Darth Vader got melted at the end of Return of the Jedi.
That, you know something, that really did take a long time for me to register.
Oh, really? That's funny.
No, just thinking of like the lightsaber melting somebody. I'm just like, oh no. Oh no. Oh.
all right.
Sorry,
let's go.
children dying is quite.
Darth Sidious took create the Empire and wipe them out. It was a Jedi Master who was responsible for the training and creation of Darth Vader.
But when the Resistance is about to be
trained
out,
Anakin.
Luke must stop fleeing from his past and reignite the legend once again to sustain the light and save his sister.
Why? How do you know that? How do you know that?
He didn't save his sister, though. He doesn't give a shit about his sister.
Yeah.
He didn't save his sister. She died of a cocaine.
He doesn't give a shit about Han. Even though they have a deleted scene, but it got cut out, so we're left with what we got. So he doesn't give a shit about Han. He doesn't give a shit about Leia. All he does is project some weird Force hologram to distract Kylo.
All he does is moan.
Because Kylo's such a fucking retard
There is
that
no.
he can't see.
There's no plot reason with Luke to go to or teleport his mind to wherever. There's no reason that I can see aside from what he tells us when he's like, Kylo, this will keep going on. You will not destroy the yada yada, and the Resistance will continue. And you're like, how do you know that, Luke? What is your reason for this? Like, how did this come about? There's nothing. You've killed them all. There's like 12 left. How is this going to come about?
And as you guys said before, the ship works, right? Because Rey used it in The Rise of Skywalker. So why did Luke use the damn ship to fly over there to go save his sister?
That's what I mean. There's no reason for him to do what he's doing, and there's no reason for Mr. Yoda to pop up and start giving him lessons that he should have given him 20 years ago or whatever. All of this just happens.
Use lightning, I will. Whack on heck.
And the Jedi Texas, I will.
Yeah. Fucking.
I'm just like, where the hell is Obi-Wan? Where's Anakin? What the hell happened to them?
If he blames Obi-Wan so much, Obi-Wan should appear as a Force Ghost and smack him.
Yeah. You bitch! I heard you talking some shit about me. Come over here.
Yeah.
No. Ben, no, please, no. Come here. No, fucking come here. Should have drowned you at birth. Smart mouth little ass.
I know. I hate that. I hate that he
Obi-Wan
talks badly
Kenobi.
about Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
And
Obi-Wan Kenobi in this scene is
Sat in the
black,
desert
so.
for 20 years to protect his boy.
Do you know how long I went without some poo-tang?
Yeah,
I wore the same robes for 20
He
years.
retirement to go fight the Empire.
I wore the same robes for 20 years. I stunk of bantha boon.
Same robe. Oh yeah.
The Empire barely lasted 2 decades.
Nobody could find Obi-Wan despite the fact that he's wearing the same robes.
Yeah, also 19 years. It's like, do you see how much I aged in 19 years watching out over you? I was 30 when I started. I'm now like a 60-year-old.
We got the Obi-Wan Kenobi show to look forward to, so maybe he'll go off and have little adventures that we don't know about.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No.
Isn't that gonna be fun?
Yeah, there's
no, it's bullshit. It's just so
no tension,
so much bullshit.
no threat. He'll never die.
The whole thing. They're building the whole thing.
Why would you say that? You don't know. He could die. He could die. You don't know. Even though it's a prequel, he could die.
Even though it's a prequel. Well,
and he has to be brought back by time-tisms.
And maybe he puts his subconscious onto this other old guy named Ben Kenobi, And that's why he's called Ben Kenobi.
Because Ben Kenobi is actually a fallback clone of Obi-Wan.
Yes. Oh my god.
We'll make it happen.
Oh my god, this all makes sense.
Oh god.
No,
It's
but
like
really, I
poetry
think they're
to
just
get
trying
right.
to make a series around the scene they have already had in the Clone Wars. No, in Rebels was it with the conclusion between Darth Maul and Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
And they just want to make a series that leads up to that.
Oh god. Let's.
Oh yeah, I forgot
was
about
a beautiful
that.
little scene. I really liked that scene because it had good dialogue, it had good tension. The fight was good because you had two people with different styles, and they fought like masters with very, very few moves.
Yeah.
Not the elaborate jump around bullshit that young idiots do, but masters. They just stand there, they make 2, maybe 3 moves, and the fight is over, and that's what they did. That was well executed.
Yeah,
as
unlike
many problems
Kylo and Rey, who just use them as cricket bat. Rey reminds me of Shaun from Shaun of the Dead with her style of fighting.
Yeah, it's
whacking
even
people over the head with a cricket bat.
and call it cheesy all you want. It even has a moment of redemption for Maul, an actual one. Because all he wanted,
just like all the other white dudes with beards.
No, all Maul wanted was revenge on Sidious for turning his life into this.
Yeah.
Maul didn't give a shit about anything else.
Right.
He was on no side. He was just on the side of revenge against Sidious. And that I think made him an interesting element in all of this.
Okay, let's go.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, the video game.
Luke is ready to die because, just like the other characters, he's giving something to the future. The myth
No, he's
of
not.
Skywalker.
He didn't give anything.
Why is this happening to our heroes? Well, it all goes back to myths. As Wright said, a myth is a communication from a society to its members. These social concepts and attitudes determined by the history and institutions of a society are communicated to its members through its myths. Put simply, myths are the stories society tells itself about itself. That's why we saw the post-Western emerge in the shadow of Watergate and Vietnam. We needed stories that reflected an age of...
All right, that was a bit of a
He's doing
stretch.
the Maggie May fish now.
That was
doing it.
Yikes, I didn't think that was going to happen.
You could argue that we use myths to teach ourselves about our institutions. You could argue that. That's fine.
Yeah,
That was just too random.
But with the
I
Vietnam thing, I'm like, okay, whoa there. Whoa.
Oh, okay.
Bit of a stretch.
Sorry, I must have missed that when I watched this video.
Bit of a stretch. Yeah.
Because you know when I watch Unforgiven, I think of the Watergate scandal and Vietnam.
Yeah. Oh, which brings us to our usual topic of communism. Just wait for it. He opened up Vietnam. We now have a possible connection to go over to communism.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't think so, but
I don't think you will. But
I've been wrong so far, so maybe.
This just came. This was just random out of the blue, and he will not further explain that part.
Oh boy.
The thing I noticed with these.
No, Sergio Leone. What does he have to do with Vietnam? What does he care about Vietnam? He's not American.
What? Are you telling me when you play God of War, you don't think about the Watergate scandal?
Yeah, you know, I'm beating someone to death. I think, what, Richard Nixon would really help this fucking game along. when I watch High Plains Drifter, I just want Richard Nixon in the background.
Thunder nuclear missiles.
I'm Richard Nixon.
Well, when the things he brings up, and I think TLJ is the best example of these, is so that the God of War thing kind of does it more right, but TLJ is the great example of what SJWs do. They make mockery is the wrong word. They make a distortion of the passing the torch story.
Forcing
And
the torch,
I,
as you call it.
I wrote that in chat before, and you seem to like the term.
Yeah, I like it. It's a really good term. Forcing the torch.
Because they're not the characters that
it's not a natural progression. It's like they've taken the torch from the person, and it's like it's my torch now, and you're like,
it's dropped in their lap, but they're not worthy of the torch, nor are they earning it after they get it, because there's also the story where you get the torch, but you're not ready for it. You have to grow into that. The SJW characters never grow into that because they never develop the personality required for being worthy of it, and that's why forcing the torch might make more sense with all of the stories they're doing. It's giving the torch to someone who does not deserve it and never will. Or the character stealing the torch. That's what the Rey thing is. That's what the Riri Williams thing is.
Oh.
That's what's happening with Falcons. What's happening with any other future properties that are going to be about the new character that takes over.
Anyway, yeah, we're almost done. So
Indiana Jones, oh boy,
all of it.
here. Oh, geez, Mike Testa, it's here, it's alive. My very first meme. Like, oh, okay. Did you post it in the stream memes? I don't know.
The stream memes.
We'll find out. Anyway.
Yeah, if you don't post it in stream memes, we can't see it, Mike. So.
All right, let's keep going. Hopefully, we'll get to some.
Also, the Mike Tester's meme better be good. Otherwise, I think we'd be sorely disappointed.
Oh boy.
Distrust institutions and a lack of belief in the American myth. It's similar to where we ended up as a culture after the 2008 financial crisis, and why suddenly we're seeing this pattern reemerge all over the place.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Okay.
Whoa, what the fuck is
most
the 2008
people
financial crisis?
Help me understand that.
Okay, most people don't understand the financial crisis in 2007 and 2008, okay? They just don't. They don't have all the facts. They don't know what caused it. But we're still pissed off at the American institutions that caused it, as well as the crazy amount of bailouts they used, which inflated prices all over the place, etc.
Yes, it's like the British people are really angry at the banks, which are actually British banks as well.
Yes.
Because
they're
everything
international.
goes around America.
Exactly.
It's like, so what's this American myth?
So we're not specifically angry at the American government, although they
Northern Rock. Yeah, Northern Rock Bank. What does that have to do with American stuff?
Well, the thing is, because everything was interconnected with the investments into American housing, that it affected other balance sheets across the world. So,
yeah, exactly.
That's fine, but the correction came.
The Labour government in the UK, with the financial crash, sold all our gold reserves for nothing. They literally gave it away for free because they fucked up so badly with everything. So it's like everyone always forgets about the fact that the financial crash was actually under a left-wing Labour government. Everyone always forgets that in the UK. And they have to really badly. Yeah, they messed up really badly. Like the bailout was ridiculous. Like literally all the taxpayer money went to bankers to give themselves bonuses. And it was like okay.
Anyway, this is a very strange take.
Let's not.
What does that have to do with American myth? It's a very complicated. I could explain it, but it's going to take some time, so I don't want to get into that. And
I understand.
It's not. I'd like to hear what he has to say, because I don't think you could say it just like that and just move on. But
He's just going to list random things now.
Yeah. Anyway, let's just go. Here's
I don't know what it has to do with our heroes being different.
Yeah, that's trust in American banks. It's like, no shit, you don't trust bankers? Wow.
Crash.
I don't trust people with lots of money. Wow.
Because of Watergate.
Yeah.
I don't trust people that are in the government. Wow, it's great. It's fantastic.
Trade Federation taxes or something.
Oh no. Anyway, here's Zero. Watch Alex Jones's prequel breakdown. It's hilarious. Did he do that? Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yes, it's great. It's awesome.
I'll watch it later.
It's really awesome.
I'll watch it later for sure. Okay, thank you.
Place. Even seeing this self-critical turn in the greatest mythic framework of our time, the superhero movie. Think about the best Marvel movies. Winter Soldier has Captain America, the poster boy for the American way, questioning the US government.
We're not just taking down the carriers.
That's not a new thing, you
Thor
dunce.
learns a real leader has to confront their nation's ugly history and...
And seriously, there was a whole arc in the comic series where Captain America renounced his whole shtick, his whole uniform, because the government was corrupt and he couldn't stand for that. Superman did the same at some point. That's nothing special. That's nothing new. That's nothing of this century. That's something from the last century.
Yeah. I mean, there's a reason why Captain America is like that.
Yeah, because Captain America stands for the principles of the United States, not for the government. He's not a nationalist. He's a patriot. Very big difference.
He's all about the sorry, I can't pronounce it. The individuals, right?
Yeah.
Not necessarily what is it? The collectivism.
Yes, exactly. A nationalist can likely be a collectivist. The patriot is founding his actions and beliefs on the principles that your society is founded on. That does not necessarily need to be in alignment and often is opposed to what the government is doing. Because the government often is not very patriotic. Nationalism is just a thing that ends in total obedience to whatever the nation does is good. Whether it does good, whether it does bad, the nation does good. That's what nationalism is. Captain America is not a nationalist symbol, it's a patriotic symbol.
Yeah.
All right. We only have 30 seconds left in case you don't know, because last half of this is just propaganda.
I was going to say, I don't think I would put Thor Ragnarok as a good Marvel movie.
Yeah, that thing was shit.
It's just a silly goof romp.
Yeah.
The character assassination.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah.
And all the pain that comes with that. Tony Stark has space combat PTSD in Iron Man 3, and in Civil War,
Iron Man 3 is not good either.
His actions come back to haunt him. Even
That scene
Superman
was
has
dumb.
issues figuring out right and wrong, which is the one thing Superman is supposed
That
to
is
know
not
for
Superman,
sure.
that is
None of our
Potato
mythical
Man.
figures are spared. And this is what I mean by the age of the
Captain Murderer.
If post-westerns emerged as people tired of the same myths from an era past, are post-heroes like Kratos, Logan, and Luke Skywalker signaling the same? And if we're currently in the process of questioning our cultural myths, what kind of myths will we make to replace them? And what will these myths tell us about the society we want to build?
To be brutally honest with you, it's not post-hero. It's SJWs destroying male heroes. That's literally all it is. So don't try and put up as some sort of
in regards to like
natural
Captain America,
thing. It's not a natural thing. This tiring of heroes. It's not. It's a clear agenda to destroy everything and replace it with political propaganda. And that is literally what everything is being made. These new myths that are supposedly propping up are just literal communist propaganda pasted onto a flimsy show or film.
Yeah, and they're trying to get rid of the classical heroes because the classical heroes tell you to stand up against what is wrong and stand up against corruption. Socialism, communism, whatever you want to call it, depends that you, the people, are compliant, dumb, don't question anything, and are cowards and lazy. That's what communism, that's what any tyranny depends upon. Well, lazy in the sense that you don't get up, you don't have a spine. The classic hero is the opposite of that. The classic hero has a spine, has courage, stands up against tyranny, stands up against despotism and lies. Communism is, especially communism, is the ideology of lies.
Yeah.
It's the only way it can keep on going.
So this whole thing of the post-hero, that's not a thing.
Yeah.
This is not a natural progression of storytelling,
and it is
a
not
forced thing that is not that popular because they're not popular.
And there is. I would even say there is such a thing as a post-hero thing, because that just means you have no heroes. There's nothing replacing them. There's just the things the SJWs are giving us are just assholes. They're villains who claim to be heroes, and that is not a hero. That is a villain.
They're villainous. What we're getting is we're getting villainous self-insert instead of heroes.
Yeah,
that's what we're getting in. Yeah,
narcissists with infantile personalities that are solely selfish, or I often say Oedipal. It's a bit harder to argue here, but solely selfish individuals with horrible personalities are propped up to us as the aspiring images. That is, those are the villains. Someone needs to stand up to them, and for 20,000 years we've told the hero stories. There's a reason for that. If anyone wants to get rid of these hero stories, it is because they want to get rid of your spirit to stand up against bullshit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's all falling apart.
Anyway, we're
this
on.
Is not just an attack on Western civilization. This is an attack on human civilization. Sorry, just was
we're on streamings, are we?
I don't know.
Streaming.
Yes. I don't know where this came from. I think Eric just made it, but.
Oh, which one?
The blonde. Sorry, what's the question?
Blonde?
What are we talking
about? Which question? Which meme are we on?
Yeah, which meme?
I have no idea. I lost track of time. Where are we? This was 12:42. This was today at 12:42. Eric, thank you. Awesome, awesome meme of I'm the only guy. There's a bunch of women around me. And
oh yes, on my street. Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's
when my neighbor's car alarm went off.
Playboy bunnies.
I'm not sure what's going on, but I'm like, wow, nice.
Last night when it went off, it's like I have to go off. I'm like one of the only guys. There's just a lot of women around me. So supposedly I'm at the Playboy Mansion. I wish I was.
What's Brazilian experimentation resulted in Matthews's cat? That was great. That was really good.
Cat was barking like a dog.
Yeah, his cat was barking like a dog.
That's the only explanation. It's cat dog.
Hawk during the Smudcast on Peach Cobbler. I like this guy. Also, Hawk, this stupid faggot.
Not that bad.
It's true though. That's pretty much the right reaction. Why are
it was.
Why are all these characters the same? And we have all the same. We have Goku and Goku Goku. Boobs lives matter.
I support this message.
I mean, that's pretty important.
The only BLM.
I agree. Yeah, I support this. Very important. This should be on a T-shirt, guys. We should make this merch and put it on a T-shirt.
Yeah.
They're already making shirts of it.
Oh, I'm too late to the party.
Lovely.
Oh.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Is that Woody? Oh yeah, it is Woody's roundup. Oh, that's right.
Is this High Plains drift?
We can milk this for pretty much every.
Oh, is this free?
The last one's fun.
The last one's good. Is this a flat?
Is 3 a 10 to Yuma? Is this the Dollars trilogy? Is this a flat brain Neanderthal? Okay. Lie to me.
Oh.
Oh god.
Western, The Last of Us, post-Western, The Last of Us Part 2. Technically, it is a sequel, so therefore it's post. Okay.
It's post.
You're a murderer, yeah.
Seriously, if you've never watched Unforgiven, just watch. If you can just find it, just watch that final bar fight. It's so badass. The way he's just like, I don't care. I'm just gonna kill everybody in this room.
I'm gonna have to now. Yeah.
He literally his shotgun jams, so he throws his shotgun at Gene Hackman.
Oh boy.
Oh no, Mike Tester's got hold of my avatar now. Oh no.
So here's Punished Bearserker giving the avatar to Mike Tester.
No.
Here's Ken.
Wait till you get
I like you, stupid.
I like you, stupid bitch.
No, let Spud say it. Let Spud say it.
I like you, stupid bitch.
Oh, he said it.
Yeah.
You know, this isn't far removed from reality, but you know, it's still kind of funny. Say it again, Smudboy, stupid bitch.
Oh god.
Time to scrub my back again, Auction. Help me call the police, mate. Care to join us?
Call the police, mate.
Is that Mike Testers?
Oh, that's funny.
It is Mike Testers. Yay!
The stream meme king.
Oh no.
Here's Bearserker again. You talking shit about me, Skywalker? Where was Ben's ghost? Yeah, that's a good question. Where the hell was Ben's ghost out of all of this time?
Yeah.
I know, it's
like, hey, Luke,
I don't know.
You got that story wrong, you son of a bitch. What the hell's wrong with you? He just wasn't available. He just didn't have time, you know, in the afterlife of eternity to pop in and say hi.
Him and Anakin, they're just
yeah.
He could have talked to Anakin's Force Ghost all the time.
Yeah.
I would have loved that, but no.
Yeah, and sit around, have a little Force Ghost tea party.
Isn't it fascinating when you have this piece of lore where you could talk to the dead and they can tell you what happened? And Luke was like, nah.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah, share wisdom.
Yeah, no, not just that.
Happened.
Not just that. The entire galaxy just went, nah, not interested in learning about the past.
Yeah. Yeah. No. The entire galaxy being liberated. Nah, we don't care.
Yeah, I don't care.
Oh, that's so sad, man.
The legacy of Jedi is failure. It was a Jedi Master who was responsible for the training and creation of Darth Vader. What a bellend.
What a bellend.
Yeah.
Bellend? Is that a British term?
Yeah,
Sure.
bellend, yeah.
Bellend.
It's a term for the end of a penis.
Ah.
Here is... So Bears left.
But Jared didn't feel like shouting, so Bears left.
Yeah, that's not how police work. But
here is... Oh, hi, Mark. These stream memes are just too much. I'm having some George Floyd moment now.
Oh, God.
And there's Mark's neck. being-
hey, demonetization.
Oh, no. Oh, boy. Oh, God.
There's my avatar. I don't know.
And Mike Tester wanted your avatar, so the bot gave the avatar to
it
him.
seems like Uletta gave...
Mike's making something.
Yeah. Uletta gave
Watch
the...
change his avatar.
yeah.
Well, you can just search General Shepard, right? For all kinds of...
I have special
Who the
eyes.
fuck is General Shepard? General Shepard's from Call of Duty.
Oh yeah, I'm getting my Shepherds mixed up.
The thing is, Eric said that on like 3 different streams, and I've let it go until today. I'm like, no, this is getting wrong. I'm going to have to explain who he's talking about.
Alrighty.
That's how my friends would figure out each other's characters. We just connect it with another name.
After a certain point in time, in Mass Effect 3, it doesn't really matter who's who or what their designation is. It doesn't matter. They're just a bunch of people. They're useless. They're all just useless people. They're all just like little bacteria. It's like, doesn't matter. No one cares. Anyway. You know what? As silly. Okay, some of those takes I thought were pretty dumb with the Vietnam and
The end thing was just what the fuck? Why?
That was dumb.
Oh yeah, what do you guys think of the overall video?
He could categorize it any way he likes and still make sense of it. That's fine, but you could see these films in a different light, and the connections he's making aren't wrong. Like they're all old people essentially. They're all being called back to do something. That's fine. It's his further categorization. We go, you don't have to do. You have to do that. That's weird. It doesn't quite make sense. I'm sure if I Google post-Western, I might find something, and he might have been inspired by that. But I don't think his description.
Let me actually have a look at what post-Western is.
Like what? Like
I now need to know what the hell he's on about. Come on, phone. Actually work or just don't.
Will that
work,
even count? I don't know.
Post-Western. Oh, it's called revisionist Western. Anti-Western or post-Western is a subgenre of Western film that subverts the traditional format. Some of the earliest revisionist Westerns came out in the 1950s.
Really?
Most notably High Noon. High Noon starring Gary Cooper, yeah. By the time of the loosening and later abolition of the restrictive Hays Code in the 1960s, yeah. So you had stuff like The Wild Bunch, Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid. Yeah, No Country for Old Men is actually classed as a revisionist Western.
Interesting.
That's interesting. I think I've heard this before. I don't know if it's correct, but I think Red Dead Redemption 2, Arthur specifically took inspiration from Butch Cassidy. I know the actors talked about it in some interviews.
Yeah.
I just thought that was something interesting. If you want to look into it, I don't know.
Yeah, there's films from the 1940s: Fort Apache, I Shot Jesse James, Buffalo Bill, Return of Frank James. So that was in the 40s. They were classed as revisionist westerns. So those were happening during the supposed high point of classic westerns. We've got Broken Arrow, High Noon, Shane, The Man from Laramie, Anyway, 40 Guns, The Left-Handed Gun, Run of the Arrow, Magnificent Seven, One-Eyed Jacks, The Misfits. Yeah, there's loads. Yeah,
it's a very loose definition of what it means to be, because you take the traditional Western format and then you just change it up in some fashion, which sounds like what they've been doing with Westerns in the 60s and 70s anyway. So
yeah, but Smudge, you've got films that fit the list from the 1940s.
Really?
Like The Return of Frank James is from 1940. Yeah,
what a
revisionist Western.
What a loose categorization. Again, you can do this. It doesn't make too much sense. It's not wrong, but it's very weak as a classification. So I don't like making weak classifications. I like my categories to make sense and be clear and simple so that you don't have to confuse people. So that's why I didn't see too many things inherently wrong with the video.
Well, I kind of find it odd that he only picked those 3 heroes, like out of all the many heroes that have been, showcased in films and whatnot.
You know what?
Why those 3?
I've come to the conclusion that Wisecrack does things because it's popular, regardless of who's doing it.
I think they just don't know what to make, so they make random stuff.
Old guys doing stuff because they don't want to, and you're like, oh, geez, that's a lot of stories. Okay, let's go with that. So
I mean, you could probably do an interesting video on like all of the heroes, probably. But
it comes down.
Make it just those three, just so you could fit some sort of weird category.
It comes down to the reluctant hero archetype, which can work in many, many contexts, many ages, many plots, and sure, old guys, why not? But I would never compare a Western to God of War or Star Wars. That's just weird.
Maybe you can compare Guardians of the Galaxy.
By the way, Smud, I just now looked at it. You know, we talked about Rio. It's not Rio Bravo. It was Rio Grande, and She Wore a Yellow Ribbon. Was with Fort Apache as the Cavalry Trilogy by John Ford. That's what.
That was his real name, John Ford. I thought it was John Weasley, or what the hell was it?
No, his real name is John Martin Feeney, but his profession is John Ford. Yeah, Feeney. Feeney.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why?
But so he was making these revisionist westerns in 1948. Yeah, even though they get classed as classic westerns, but they can still be called as revisionist westerns.
Well, it's a different definition than the Wisecrack guy is using.
Yeah, this is why I got. This is why I'm a bit like.
And I'm sorry I have to drop out here. I'm really tired.
All right, guys.
Okay. Well, I'll shut up about westerns now.
We're done. We're done. Have yourself a great evening, and go have a drink of whiskey or whatever you do. Talking about westerns all this time, may as well have a whiskey. So thanks so much. Keep the suggestions coming.
Enjoy a western.
Enjoy an actual western. Go watch Unforgiven. That's a great film. So Mike Testa, have fun with whatever you're doing with your ambitions in life, and we'll talk to you guys tomorrow.
More memes to come.
Okay. Bye-bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.